Welcome to another episode of Bussin With The Boys. I am your host, Willie C. To my left, Taylor Lewan, The Boys. If you are here for the Stephen A interview, fast forward probably, an hour 15, Mitch? The chapters are right there. If you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, the chapters will be right there for you. You can even check the description if you want to get to a certain point in time. But thank you for watching Bussin With The Boys. If you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to all of our channels. Bussin With The Boys on YouTube, Rumble, on audio podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, all of them. Wherever you're consuming us, please make sure you are subscribed to The Boys. It helps us out tremendously. Taylor, what do we have on the docket for these lovely people?
Well, obviously, a lot of you people here for Stephen A. Smith. It's going to be an amazing time, and I hope you enjoy it. But what I hope you do is you don't jump up an hour and 10 minutes. I hope you get to stick around and see what the boys do, and that's the chemistry, that's the vibe, that's all the good times we talk about. We have a little shout out, no free shout out. We have a pseudo tier talk from a fan question that came up. I talk about my experience with Machine Gun Kelly, who's brought back a complete genre of music in Las Vegas, Nevada. One good, one not so good. Overall, we'll give it a 4.5. And finally, dude, Will brings up a new documentary series called Dynasty that is really sells me on the idea of, and it fires me up beyond belief. So we'll get into that in those first hour 10. I hope you guys will check that out before you jump over to Stephen A. Smith. But we'll go ahead and read us this little Chevy boy right here.
This episode is brought to you by the one, the only, the Chevy Silverado, the longtime partner of the show with commanding and unstoppable grit, legendary capability, and dependability as well. We've all spent time, seat time as they like to call it, behind the wheel of a Silverado, and we're not just truck guys. We're Chevy truck guys. You know about the ZR2 family of trucks, lifted and ready for anything right from the factory. Now, Silverado is taking it to the next level, even more with the Silverado truck tech, like available Super Cruise. Only Super Cruise lets you drive hands-free and tow hands-free on more than 400,000 miles of compatible roads, with over 138 million miles of hands-free driving by customers, by you. Super Cruise will help you get to your adventure energized, and it'll help you drive home safely. Go to Chevy.com where you can check out Silverado, build your own Silverado online, and learn important details about the Super Cruise. Without further ado, let's kick it off to Stephen A. Smith. Or kick it off to our intro, then Stephen A. Smith. We love you. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
McAfee or no McAfee, get up or no get up. It don't matter who it is, FS1, Comcast, whatever. You come for me, I'm coming for you. But we know who number one in linear television is.
I saw a clip.
Just rusty.
I saw a clip on who's the guy that's always on American Idol, bald dude who has he's germaphobe. Howie Mandel. I saw the clip of Dana walking off the set. Did you see that clip?
Yeah, did you ask Dana about it?
No, I didn't. I'm not.
You gotta ask Dana
that's
about
something
it.
I'm gonna stay out of.
Why not?
I don't know, because it seemed so odd. I was like, one of those. Hey, I hope my boy's all right, and kind of just move on internally with my own head.
Because you hope Dana? I'm hoping Howie Mandel's all right.
I mean, something must have happened before the show started. Something, because he goes,
That's what I'm saying. That's why you should hit up your boy and let him know. Because if you take it at face value, kind of a dick move by Dana to just like, I'm done with podcasts. Like, yeah, I'm under the assumption that something had to have happened. But if you just take that at face value, and
don't read into it at all.
Don't read into it at all. And how he does the intro like he did, because he he hyped him up and everything else, and then Dana's just like, I'm sick of doing podcasts. Gets up and walks off. Like, that's tough.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's tough.
Who was the guy sitting next to him too? Like this, like redneck cat. Like he had like a ginger, big muscular dude. Ginger. He does like these TikTok dances where he's like twerking in jean shorts, and his voice is kind of like mine. Like you look at him and you're like, oh, that's not going to come out of his mouth. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So they did a great job pivoting. I watched that, but the reason why I brought it up was you putting on the headphones. Is who's that fighter? Well-spoken cat, white dude. Talked about him and John Jones both being on steroids back in the day. You know what I'm talking
He
about?
talks a lot of shit. It's who
Talks
it's
a lot of
like
shit. He's really
Michael
well
Bisping.
spoken.
Michael Bisping lost to him because we sat down with Bisping.
I forget his name as well. Maybe we can look that up as I'm going.
Chael
Chael
Sonnen.
Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen.
So
Chael Sonnen.
I watched like a recap video of him essentially breaking down the whole thing, and he was talking about how shitty the studio is, and how he was basically going at Mendel pretty hard. And then, but he brought up the fact like you put headphones on. He's like, why the fuck in this day and age would you put headphones on during a podcast?
Right. Especially if you're in person.
Yeah, if you're in person. That's literally the only reason the first 2 minutes of this episode I thought to myself I should bring up that story because you were going to put those on. And I was like, oh.
Yo, Chael, he's funny, dude. I enjoy listening to him because he's a good shit talker. He's a good storyteller. He's a great troll.
A great storyteller. He does the press conferences where you see like guys walk up and McGregor and they talk like, oh, McGregor, the one of one, this, that, and the other. Like he had a guy that do that for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very much Ric Flair,
Yeah.
exciting WWE style.
Yep.
That's the kind of shit that gets me fired up.
Because he wanted Chael, and I believe this is what he's talked about. Like he wanted to like bring that into like that style into the UFC,
The
not into the
WWE?
UFC. Like it doesn't happen, but yeah,
Right.
like take inspiration probably from like a Ric Flair and all these guys who work the mic and everything else.
Yeah, if you think about it, UFC is really just like a real WWE.
Yeah,
Like it's legit fighting, but like the storylines is what we buy into. The Poirier, the McGregors. Now we're seeing Chandler and McGregor and all these different guys like
Mhm.
finding they hate each other. They don't know why they hate each other, but then you look back behind the curtain and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can see why that dude hates him. Maybe I'm rooting for this guy now.
Yeah.
It's a whole different game.
And speaking of The Rock, have you been seeing his mic work out there?
Yeah, he's been killing
He's back in the WWE. He's came back into the WWE.
I wonder
He
why.
basically cucked, from what my understanding is, he
Oh,
cucked Cody
look
Rhodes. I think it's Cody Rhodes, right? I
Cody-
saw The Rock coming in. He came in. He came in. Roman Reigns. There's a big thing going on, and he basically just jumped to the front of the line. Something about the Royal Rumble, and then WrestleMania. And I apologize to all the WWE fans out there that are correcting me right now. But as a cat who was in the generation of The Rock, Stone Cold, and all of them, and I haven't kept up at all with the new age generation of the WWE. But seeing The Rock come back into the fold, it's like, oh shit, I might want to start getting back in the storyline, because he comes out there, he basically like jumps ahead and skips a line. That's why he's gone heel. Like Rock is in full. He's reminding people why he's The Rock.
Yeah.
Like he's back on day one type shit. Like outside of the political realm, the good vibes realm, the motivation realm, everything else. Like he's back being a heel, talking shit in the ring. Like the shit that you fell in love with The Rock in the first place for.
And there was a
Fires
point.
me up.
There was a point in time where he was like, I no longer go by The Rock. I'm Dwayne Johnson now. Wasn't there like a
Probably,
I'm feeling
yeah.
like the early 10s is when he was kind of getting away from that and kind of stepping away from the WWE, redefining himself, doing the Tooth Fairy,
Right,
those types
right.
of
Where he
movies,
wanted to kind of,
becoming a star.
Yep.
And now he's full circle, getting it back.
Yeah, bro. And I'm pretty sure he's in WrestleMania. Like it's going down. And he's been in the ring, I feel like each week
going down.
just talking shit, and it just juices me up that
How
he's
does
back
this
in the
fucking
ring.
guy find the time?
I don't know.
It's insane.
I don't know. He must have a lot of shit. Like, The Rock feels like a big brain thinker. Like
Yep.
the minute he came back into the WWE, and by the way, we talk about the ratio world, the troll world, and everything else. The WWE, as far as on social, hated the fact that The Rock came in and jumped ahead of like Cody Rhodes. I believe. Like ultimately
The fans.
everything that would get posted, somebody would be like, ratio, Cody Rhodes or something like that. And it would like outdo it. Like people wanted Cody Rhodes. It's like, it's bullshit that The Rock just gets to come in. And then within days of The Rock entering back into the ring, you see on his Instagram, he's got another line dropping with Under Armour. So there's a lot of calculated moves from the boy, which again, seeing him back in the ring and doing the wrestling stuff and talk about, hey, shut up, fatso, I'll slap the herpes out of your mouth. Like, that's The Rock. And it juices me up.
That's The Rock.
Yeah, that's The Rock, dude.
That's
It
what you
juices-
want.
Yes.
Dude, this Cody guy, I don't want to put you on blast because I know you haven't followed it so much, but is he this guy like one of the good guys? Is he one of the bad guys? He's obviously a fan favorite.
Yeah, I believe he's just like a big fan favorite. Like,
Yeah.
from what, again, like me just seeing it on the surface level and be like, oh shit, The Rock's back. And you get like goosebumps and shit, like, oh damn. But then you see the wrestling world actually hates it. But then it's also such a good thing, because that's when you get to be a heel. That's when you get to be the villain and lean into it and piss everybody off. And I just feel like it's bringing in all the older generations back into the fold to kind of see what's happening. But it
Yeah.
seemed like Cody Rhodes has been such a fan favorite, a guy that's I don't want to talk out of turn, but it seems like loyal to the soil with the brand of WWE, put in a shitload of work and put in his time to get kind of the moment he was going to have at either Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and then The Rock comes in and just slaps the taste out of his
Ends
mouth.
up cucking him, like you
Yeah,
said.
ends up cucking him.
God damn.
But again, it's awesome.
It is cool as you get older and you don't just like follow, because a lot of us just follow the storyline of what we want to see. Like we want to watch WWE. If you're a WWE fan, you're watching that storyline. And you, us, we've zoomed out, kind of rubbed elbows with certain individuals that are of high power, that have a lot of money, that kind of from a business standpoint handle themselves. And for you to go and notice The Rock is now in there. Now he's dropping a line and what's going to happen here. And it's an interesting thing because Rock talking about slapping the herpes out of people's mouths, like becoming the bad guy, the heel, as you say, is such a cool parallel to his like movie stardom, because he's never really the villain in his movies, in his roles. He's always like the superhero.
Or just on Instagram.
Yeah, great guy. The mana's always super high.
Yeah.
And now he gets to go in and truly play a character.
Which is what he grew up in that business doing in the first place.
His whole family was in the business, right?
Yeah. Rocky Maivia, that was his dad. That was his old man.
You're getting to that generation, like you need to be 10 years older right now, because I feel like you need to be the dude that like followed for a long time. But like these guys aren't as tough as they used to be. Dude. They're a bunch of pussies. And The Rock comes back and like bring you back in the fold big time. Like I can see Bill getting a text from you being like, "Hey, The Rock's on Royal Rumble right now," and he's like, "Oh." Look at, like, I can't find his remote. You know, he's fucking looking for it, and he's like, starts bipping it over there.
Yeah,
that's the kind of shit I love.
Yeah, it's magical, dude. And his style too. He's got that. I don't know what the hell it is, but he's got on the diamond necklace. It's like, it's just
hell yeah.
It's dog. The Rock being The Rock.
I know, and he'll go back tomorrow, 12 a.m. workout. What are we doing? I'm up before everybody. I've worked out twice before everybody else has woke up. It's like, okay, dude.
And then all of a sudden he's having a fuck it day. He's got like 30 pancakes sitting in front of him.
Bro, there ain't no way you're eating all them damn pancakes.
Right.
No way. And those cookies look fire every single time.
Yeah.
There was one he had, dude. It was like a sushi platter, and he showed that as one of his fuck it days, and it looked. I would have fucked up all that sushi. It was really like it really looked like that.
He's got some like French toast too. He calls it like the Rock toast.
And they're like this thick, dude. They're like this thick. I wonder. You trying to get for the Carb King over here, Mitch, dude. We literally go to breakfast at the Red Rock. I don't know. You guys have probably broke down a whole bunch of what happened in the last 9-10 days or whatever. But breakfast, man, the first day you got there on Wednesday, my boy had waffles. It looked like he had pancakes as well. I know there was biscuits and gravy just hanging out by you. He's got a mouthful going, "You want some?" Like he was trying to feed me.
He doesn't eat when he's at home. He skips eating. He gets too lazy to go to the pantry, go to the fridge, like make himself
go to the grocery
dinner.
store like I do.
He just doesn't. Yeah, he just doesn't eat. He eats what is it? Ritz crackers with peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, there's been multiple occasions, probably at least once a week or once every other week. I'll have for dinner. It'll just be Ritz crackers, and I'll put a little peanut butter, a little jelly, make little peanut butter jelly sandwiches on them.
Hey, that is some like elementary school. Both my parents are at work shit.
I actually learned it from my dad.
College vibes right there. Ramen noodles.
I learned it from my dad, and he's the one that put me onto it, and it's very, very good.
Shout out your dad, dude.
Shout out Dan.
Shout out Dan. Didn't teach you how to look up questions, but he taught you cracker, peanut butter, and jellies.
Hey, you're the grocery shopping. I texted Jack solo and I said, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what's real and what's a bit, because every time you post something, he makes it seem like it's truly something you sniped on the internet.
I know. Hopefully this is a reference being thrown up on the YouTube if you're watching right now. Every time I post about going to the grocery store, which every time you've seen me post about the grocery store are the times I'm at the grocery store. Like, so 3 times in the last 2.5 months or whatever.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Whatever. And dude, every time I knew it, literally, Jack, this is my thought process walking in. I was like, okay, pictures, he always gets me with the Google. This time I make a video, now he can't do nothing about it. And you threw the TikTok up with the screen recording, everything. That's
just the first search. You gotta go deeper if you're gonna use this grocery store video.
Jack, don't do that, bro.
I mean, dude, I get it. You're trying to connect with your audience, a bunch of blue collar guys.
We are a bunch of blue collar guys, but a bunch of blue collar guys that do Lucy. That's what we do because we fight. Listen, man. Yeah, I don't go to the grocery store a whole lot, but Taylin, ever since her grandmother passed away in October, every Sunday, she does meatballs, pasta. She makes me a nice little steak. We have a good little time. And last night we had to cruise over there, the Whole Foods, dude. Get that whole thing down.
I saw what was it, mozzarella or Parmesan in there, and then some seasonings, some of the plants, maybe some basil.
Taylin probably posted it.
No, I was trying to make out what was in the video.
Yeah, I think it was just cheese and
JP
herbs.
tried getting you, and he was kind of wrong. He just said like,
Oh,
He
the
said
vet
something-
move.
He said vet move. You would have got a cart instead of a full size grocery cart, which that is not. That's a little half
Yeah,
size.
that's a little boy.
That's the. I still want to push. I don't want to hold something in my hand the whole time.
That's exactly what that
It's
is.
like we got some arugula, tomatoes,
Mhm.
mozzarella,
Yep.
kombucha, a bunch
Mm.
of rich people shit, really.
That's not kombucha. That's, that's something else.
Jack's so mad he has to shop at Kroger. So I like bottles of water. It's like,
Dude.
look at this rich people shit.
The thing, dude, the thing that the grocery store pisses me off is when you walk into the Whole Foods in that Green Hills, is there's always so many bouquets of flowers. And I can't stand because every time I walk in there, my kids want some, Talon wants some, and then I'm walking away with six bouquets of flowers. It's such a waste of money. Such a waste of money, and I can't say no.
Yeah, but for the moment, for the smile.
Nah, dude, fuck the smile. I don't want that, dude. I don't want it
Those
one bit.
smiles worth $50 a day.
No, they're not, dude. Hopefully I can get them to laugh once for $5.
Should we? You brought it up, blue collar guys, Lucy. Should we talk about Lucy? Like, we've hit a nice little partnership with Lucy. Man,
Yeah.
I think it's big news, and shout out to you for your nicotine habit.
Yeah, shout out to addictions.
Yeah, shout out to your
yeah.
nicotine addiction.
Dude.
It has landed us a partnership with Lucy.
Yeah, and everybody knows what I used to put on my upper lip, and I truly loved that brand. I was about it. I think the flavor was fantastic. I love the pouch, everything like that. And so I do have to give it flowers. I'm not gonna say its name because I'm being respectful to my new girl now, but it was a great relationship. And once I'm starting to find out that the nicotines, you know, they own like 80% of the sales of all nicotine brands, it's starting not to sit well with me. Being on a bus, being a blue collar cat, a grinder, sitting with that, being like, why would I want to be with the top dog when I can go find something just as good that maybe people don't know about so much?
American made.
I don't think they're. I can't look that up. I think they're in Sweden as well. But Sweden made, dude, where probably your offshore bank account is. So there's something there. There's something aligning you there. And yeah, dude, I went down the hunt. I tried Rogue. I tried a whole bunch of different ones. And the thing that set me off with Lucy was the pouch is bigger than my last girl. And at first I didn't know how I feel about that. But you put it in there and you feel like a real man with like a dip. Like you have a real dip. You put it in the lower lip. It feels real good. So for me, it was like, okay, I'll co-sign on that. It's different, but I'm a little scared because it's different, but I'm going to keep moving with it.
Mhm.
The next thing was like the pouch, like how dense, how rough and tumble can I be on this pouch? Can I move it around my lip and not have it burst and then have like little flakes of nicotine just flying around? Good in the moment if you can handle it, hell of a buzz if you can handle it, but not what you want on a day-to-day basis if you're getting your lip raw on a nicotine pouch. So as I started working through these things, man, I found Lucy and I've really enjoyed the breakers. I've really enjoyed how you could take one, you crack one, and it's just a flood of flavor. Because for me, a guy like me who has nicotine in his mouth, unless he's sleeping or eating, it's literally in there. I hate that 5-10 minutes where you put one in and it's like, yo, come on, flavor, let's go. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Come on, get back to me. And with the breakers, it's like bing right there. Maybe we should just have one right now. You want one?
Brother.
Oh, he's on it. My dreams are fucking coming true. The espresso.
So, no, I'm with you. Like, I started doing it when we were on the road. It was always like, hey, travel. Like, if it was Thursdays in Chicago or whenever we do a fall tour, like throw the, we won't say the names.
We won't say the
names.
name.
No free shout outs.
Yeah.
But moving into Lucy's and then hearing about the breakers, like I thought the breakers thing was like just like a hard candy or something like that. I didn't know it was like inside of a pouch. So they shipped us a bunch and I see espresso. And your boy, you know I love lattes. You know I love coffee. You know I'm addicted to caffeine. I was telling Mitch about it last week. Like, bro, these espresso pouches, these are the 4 milligram because they got a lot of different levels of milligrams, right?
They go and even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They all up at 12. That's for the men.
That's for the
that's for the men. That's not for us.
The psychos.
Yeah. The 4s are a perfect number.
And you were getting me on them, and then that viral clip of Huberman was going around on the benefits of nicotine.
Yep.
And I basically do anything that Huberman says.
Yeah.
Like,
follow blindly. It's the only way to live.
Yeah. Like, oh, who put you on that? Huberman. Like, look, I grew up in the Huberman world. Like, I will just listen to him. Whatever he says, I'm taking it as face value.
Right. And it's great too when you're trying to give people information and they're like, where'd you get that? And then you say Huberman, they just go, oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Automatically agree with you. There's no argument to be had.
Yeah, there is a culture with Huberman right now.
Yeah.
But I wrote down the benefits of nicotine coming from Huberman's mouth that got me more and more on top of this stuff. Neuroprotecting, suppresses appetite,
Don't need it.
increases metabolism,
Let's go.
improves focus, attention, and mood,
What?
It relaxes your skeletal muscle, which again, go listen to Huberman. I won't go too much farther
Right.
beyond that.
You don't need to.
I just jotted that note down that it
Yeah.
relaxes your skeletal muscle, and then it increases motivation and decreases negative emotions. So
Is this the answer for depression? Not for us to say.
Probably
in-
not.
there are studies of like an
are.
of using it as like an antidepressant, but yeah, listen to this podcast. We are brain dead people on this.
Yeah,
bus.
we are not
do
smart.
not do yeah, we are not smart. Go listen to the Huberman
We're not
podcast.
doctors.
Yeah, go listen to the Huberman podcast. But these espresso ones, I shit you not. Here it is. You can see the little breaker inside. You can zoom in on that, Mitch.
Kind of
There's
hard
a
to
little
see.
breaker inside, and truly, it is like putting a latte in your mouth, like a
Yeah.
little victory latte in your mouth. So, waking up this morning and coming over to do the intro, I'm so excited to go to my spot, 8th and Rose. Get me an almond milk ice latte, splash vanilla to pair it with the espresso pouch. And bro, my mouth's watering talking about.
Yeah, you're salivating.
Yeah.
You want?
Yeah, I'm
cheers?
about to. Yeah, cheers.
So I'll bite down on this breaker so you can hear it. So you just use the little fangs of your teeth and.
And then it's just like it's an orgasm in your mouth.
Think of a gusher, but with more juice.
And this espresso mixed with an iced latte.
See, I'm a tropical cat, dude. I like my my fruits, and so
Which I was into. You had me into
Yeah.
the Fruit Loop tasting one again. Won't say any
Won't say
names.
the
I
names.
love that one.
Won't
But
say the
this
names.
right here
yeah.
is
Oh, that's
one
the
to look.
baby.
This is the baby.
Literally, when I was talking to whoever after we decided we're gonna go with Lucy, and Lucy came to us after and said, "Hey, it was a great choice. We'd love to sponsor you." They said, "Hey, what kind of flavors do you want?" I had them with. They have apple berry or apple frost. They got.
Apple ice.
What'd you just put in? What'd you just put in, Jack?
What? Oh, Lucy.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
making
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Let's see the
We'll
can.
throw you off the bus.
Let me
bro.
see the can, Jack.
We'll get you replaced.
What's these flavors?
So
Mango. Mango's really tasty.
Mango's the one that I have on my lip right now. Because I enjoyed the citrus flavor of the other ones, but the breakers, they come in all of them. They asked me, what flavors do you want? I said 4 milligrams. Don't send us 8. Don't send us 10. It's too much of they're like, hey, they're coming. I'm not safe feeling.
Yeah.
At least for me, a lot of people, they
Sometimes
go
I like-
hard.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, you love-
Yeah.
You love like
just-
talking to God.
Yeah, I want the roller coaster. Like I want to be shaking a little bit and be like,
Right.
you say something to me, and I'm kind of like, don't know what's going on.
Will Compton, although you've already heard, is a big caffeine guy. One cold brew coffee and Pitt's shaky, jittery,
Jitters.
and it's not like he
anxiety.
learns his lesson ever. He just keeps coming back for more and more. So we got the 4s. We're big 4 guys. I'm a mango guy. I do love the espresso. I do love the
So
espresso.
tasty.
The issue for me though with the espresso is mentally. I think to myself, coffee stains your teeth. If I just have an espresso flavored thing in here, am I just staining my teeth the whole time? That's my one little.
That's a real good
Yeah.
thought.
You know
That's
where I
a
heard
good
that? Huberman.
Nuh-uh.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, what? Just start fucking puking and shit.
So yeah.
Might as well just go ahead and throw up. Do we have a Lucy ad read?
We do not.
We don't have
Yeah,
one?
Lucy ad read.
That's fucking crazy. Go check out the boys, Lucy.
Yeah, go check them out.
We'll
dude.
give them a free shout out because
And online, everything's going online now. Like you really can't find them in stores. I don't think. I go to a gas station. They got all the other brands we won't talk about, but Lucy, get them
Lucy.
online. Dude. Get them in bulk.
yeah,
It's fantastic, dude. Should we? Obviously, the football season's over, and we had a great time. I know you guys talked about it a little bit. Probably that's done. The good, the bad, the ugly. Those fun segments. We'll probably put those on the shelf for just a minute. Let's bring back a shout out, no free shout out. Even though we've done it, even though we haven't given it the
I think we did
official,
a
it's
couple
back.
weeks ago. But yeah, you're right. It needs to officially have its moment back in our hearts. We just gave a really good shout out, no free shout out, even though we don't have an ad read with Lucy. But yeah, I would love to bring the shout out, no free shout out back. Mitch, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mitch. Taking notes of what?
He's producing the fuck out of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He's
All right,
should do that.
in his bag.
My shout out, no free shout out goes. This week I had one of my buddies from home come into town, and like when you first see like one of your boys that you haven't seen in a long time, and you just dap him up and you just give him a good old hug. My shout out, no free shout out goes to giving your boys hugs. Just something about like, yeah, you can dap them up, you can just like little handshake, whatever. But like when you lock it in for a hug and just real quick, like whether it's a longer one, shorter one, just give your boys some more hugs because sometimes you just need it. Maybe that other person will need it as well. But it's just a little feel good moment with you and your boy. So
Love that, man.
shout out Hugs.
That's wholesome.
Yeah, I saw something too. Like, I'm sure you get it as well. Like, my algorithm has a lot of these, gooey things now that pop up in front of my face. And one was about hugs, like big hug guy. 12 hugs a day leads to growth. 8 hugs is what you need for maintenance. And if you have anything less, like, you're deterring yourself from happiness. But 12 is the number. And also not only that, but your technique. You want to go left arm up, right arm below.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, left arm up, right arm below, because you're heart to heart with the person you're hugging.
Wow.
That Huberman?
That's not humor. That's just Instagram algorithm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
okay.
just Instagram algorithm.
Just as good.
Yeah, and also another one I saw. If you hold a hug for 8 seconds, that's where you release like the dopamine, the good hormones, the good things going on, where you get the most out of the hug. So hug often, hug hard, hug long.
It sounds like we're getting ourselves an anti-depression protocol going on here with the Lucy and the hugs.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what else happens
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
Jackie, what do you have, baby?
I don't know if this is gonna translate for y'all. I hope it does. But I was just in Tahoe this past weekend, up snowboarding. We went there. The weather's supposed to be completely clear all week, so that kind of like bums you out when you go on a ski trip. You're like, you want to get like a good snow, and then the day we get there, all of a sudden we get a weather alert advisory, and there was a winter storm that just out of nowhere popped up first day. And so the first day we get there, we don't ski, we get settled in. Wake up the next morning, and there was like 14 inches of fresh snow on the top of the mountain. So my shout out goes to, I guess, Mother Nature and providing beautiful snow. But getting snow on that first day of a ski trip is something special. It provides a little bit more of a cushion. You can kind of go a little bit harder out there. It does make it more like taxing on your legs because you're having so much more resistance, but you're able to go a little bit further. You're able to send that jump a little bit harder. So shout out to fresh snow on the beginning of a snow trip or ski trip.
Yeah, shout out Mother Nature. You jump?
Yeah.
You go hard like that?
Yeah, we like to go hard. Like I said, when there's fresh snow, you have a little bit more in your bag. You're a little bit less worried about breaking something or tearing something because you're just falling in powder. So yeah, we like to get out there, have a good time, have a couple beers, and you're like, all right, I'll hit that trick then now.
I had a buddy in high school. His name was Zach Bauer. Shout out Zach Bauer. I saw him this weekend in Arizona. He would always go to like Big Bear or Durango or Flagstaff and go skiing every winter. And every time he came back, he would have a separated shoulder, broken wrist. He literally guy had paper bones. He's a surgeon now, but like all his injuries like got him into the idea of becoming a surgeon. When I saw you skiing, that's what I was like, oh, people go skiing, they're gonna get hurt. You're just paying to get hurt, and I'm happy to see you back here on your 2 feet.
Yeah, that we were talking about it yesterday coming back. We're just like, no injuries. That's just the biggest win you can. Because when I'm 29, it's like if you separate your shoulder or like hurt your knee, it's like at what cost? Like just to like impress one of your friends on like a ski slope that no one ever saw.
The
And then
Black Diamond.
yeah, exactly. But it's always fun. And with those Flagstaff places, they don't typically get like a lot of snow. So it's usually like groomers, which means just like really packed down hard snow. So it's a lot easier to get hurt. So when you do get those like 12 to 15 inches of fresh snow, it really prevents any kind of like hard sustaining injury. Like you can still get hurt, obviously, anytime, but it definitely helps out the cause of feeling a little bit more confident out there. So definitely shout out Mother Nature.
I didn't even know you could get 12 to 15 inches
We got
anywhere.
33 inches in one night in Colorado.
You never got just
ago.
12 inches when you're in Michigan?
I don't think so. I think the only place I'd ever think that would happen is Buffalo, New York, because every year in like December, the Bills have like a hell of a deal going on. But I think to myself like a whole foot of snow, a foot plus.
Crazy.
Sounds horrible to me.
It's awesome.
You know me and snow, brother.
Yeah.
Don't get along.
Vans do not do well in snow. I'll tell you that. What you got, Will, for your shout out for
Bro,
shout?
I'm so pissed off because I forgot mine.
Okay, I'll go.
I had one over the weekend. I was like, I need to write this down. I need to write this down.
That's always the
But
thing,
I was
man.
like, this one's so solid that I will not forget. And here I am, 48 hours later. forgetting.
That's
I'll
tough.
try to think of one.
That's tough. You need to be prepared for the show that we have every week. But I'll go. And this I've said this one before, but it happened to me this weekend, and I just want to bring it back up again. So this weekend I had to go to Arizona. One of my buddies, his father passed away very suddenly. We had to go to a funeral. It was weird. It was a weird weekend. It was tough, but positive on the weekend. Let's talk about positives here. We're keeping the vibes high. Taylor puts on a song for me that immediately hits the cerebellum, and I go, oh, fuck yes. I'm going to run this song into the dirt, and I'm going to know every single lyric in a week's time. I'm not at a week yet, but we know about half of them now. That song is by Benson Boone, and the song is called Beautiful Things. Have you heard it? Yeah. Please stay. Dude, that shit came on, and I'm thinking in my head, because we actually had this conversation when we were doing a drop-off right before Super Bowl about, like, when you listen to a song, you listen to a beat or a lyric first, and I'm always listening to the lyrics first. The guy talking about how his life was tough, then his life is good, and now all he's worried about is when the good things are going to end. You can feel the anxiety in the song as it leads to this beautiful, like, not screaming, but like a yelling, singing type of like passion that gets you to go, oh, I got goosebumps right now. Let me roll these windows down and get these goosebumps off my body. Like that type of feeling.
Yeah.
So my shout out, no free shout out, is going to go to finding a new song. And I've done it. That's probably the third time I've done that in the show, but it was necessary.
We've been around for some time.
Yeah,
we're gonna repeat. I'm pretty sure Bro Hugs has been in there. Like,
It also never gets old.
And it doesn't get
Great
old.
things in
Yeah,
life. One of
that's
the
true.
greatest things.
Yeah, just like your shopping cart troll. It literally never gets old to me. I laugh every time. I honestly tweet it to get that now. That's the only response I ever want.
I remembered.
Let's go.
I remembered.
Hey, and people, those of you that think about, oh, Will's got CT, he's a big dumb idiot. Boom. Perfect example right now.
In your
He's not
fucking
that
face,
guy.
boys.
Yeah.
He's loose.
Eat shit. It's the Lucy's.
Yeah, the memory. So my shout out, no free shout out, goes to the AirTag. I've started to use them, and I needed it over the weekend. I couldn't find my keys. I didn't realize where I placed them, and I throw up the Find My app and have the keys, and then it plays a little sound for you to find it. And shout out the AirTag because we need it.
We need it.
I'm pretty sure it's like, this is like a universal, like, maybe not universal. I'm not shitting on all the men out there, but it seems like a very male thing to do where we forget the dumbest shit. And our other tells us like, hey, here's a little like, what am I trying to say? Here's a little
reminder. I don't know.
No, not reminder.
Here's a device that helps you remember.
Yeah, like a little plate.
Here's a plate.
Yeah.
Put
it in your plate. Like if you just
CT got him again.
yeah. If you just walk in the house and put your money clip, your keys and everything in this plate, in the mudroom, right when you walk in, you'll know it's there every time.
Yeah.
Fortunately, your boy's been very solid at doing that. But for whatever reason, I had misplaced my keys, didn't know where they were. And I thought to myself, I'm so fired up that I have an AirTag on this thing now because I almost never put it on. I like several of them sitting there from Christmas and just, again, lazy. Don't get around to doing it. Fortunately, they were on my keys.
Yeah.
I knew where to find them. Shout out the AirTag.
That is something I still need to do. Luckily, my significant other loses her phone 15 times a day to the point where I'm the one going, honey, come on. Like, you've got to be better. You've got to figure it out.
They see it as a badge of honor, losing their phone. Like, oh, I'm not on my phone a whole lot.
I've been on it for so long.
Yeah.
I guess I just misplaced
down.
it. That's a big one.
I love my daughter too.
I was up and down the damn stairs yesterday trying to find my phone. I went upstairs. We have like a little attic playroom set up with like a little jungle gym. We have like a rock climbing thing for the kids. They love it, dude. A big swing in there. And they're ripping. And I get in, there's this big love sack. You've been in there. Lay down. I'm on my phone. I'm surfing the bird. And I go downstairs. I have to grab something. I think it's a water. I go downstairs, come back up, can't find my phone. I'm like, did I bring it downstairs with me? I hunt for 15 to 20 minutes. Probably 10, but you get what I'm saying. Finally, I go upstairs. I'm like, hey, Win, did you grab my phone? And then this shit-eating grin covers her face. No. I was like, where is it, dude? Where is it? I had to fight her. I had to fight my daughter.
You hit her?
No, I did. I pushed her hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under the beanbag.
Yes. But anyway, she ended up giving up the phone, dude. But I thought to myself in that 10-minute span of trying to find my phone, like, I should just put those damn AirTags. They're literally sitting in the man cave right now. I know exactly where they are. Dude, exactly where they are.
The Garmin now. The Garmin hooks you up.
That thing.
Well, I'll lose my, I'll misplace my phone every now and then.
I think, hang on, dude.
No, it does. I think I turned my Bluetooth off for a minute.
Yeah, you were getting some weird jingles in there. You had a weird vibrate on your phone.
Yeah, hang on. Well, we'll come back to it. I gotta hit the reconnect.
Yeah, and also Garmin's not a sponsor of the show, so
yeah.
But
No free shout out.
No free shout
No
out.
free shout outs to Garmin. I do love it though.
Dude.
It helps me out a lot.
Will and I, we work at the same gym, and literally I'll peek over at the boy, make sure he's staying on top of his stuff, you know, kind of Billy Buddy shit. And he'll look over and he'll just be popping some buttons, looking, and go do his thing. Immediately gets out of the set, starts hitting it again. Like, no, you're not even doing anything.
You gotta hit the set's over, hit the stop. Now my rest is counting.
You're not doing
Don't
nothing,
rest
man.
anything. Don't
That
think
thing's probably off right now.
we sit there and talk, and the minute you walk away, I look, I'm like, fuck, I've been resting way too long.
I know, because I hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk, but at the same time, it's like I got to get in, get out.
Yeah.
Get in, get off, get out.
Yeah.
That whole thing. One thing you can get in, get on, get off of is anytime you're watching a sporting event, dude. Anytime you watch a sporting event and you think, how do I make this a little bit more fun? We've got the sports book for you. We're excited to announce our partnership. Can you zoom in a little bit, Jack? That's too much for me. We're excited to announce our partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings will be a one-stop shop for all things betting. This week, new customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 on any sport. What's a no-sweat bet, you might ask? It's just like getting an offensive board, missing your first shot, you get another chance to score with the bonus bet back. You can also follow what your favorite Barstool personalities are betting on by joining the Barstool betting group in the social section of the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BUS. It's 3 letters. I'm going to say it to you though. BUS. DraftKings app, Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook app, code BUS. New customers can get no sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code BUS. The crown is yours.
Hashtag DK partner.
Hashtag DK partner. Also, did you guys see the bet I put in this week? UFC against Volkanovski. People were saying, specifically JP, I saw him say fade. He's a big dumb idiot because I made myself $1,050.
Who beat Volk?
I forget his name. Tulupia? Ilya Tuporia. I probably should know that.
What made you pick him over Volk, over the American made Volk?
He's not American made.
Yeah.
He's
Everything's American made.
Yeah.
If I'm rocking with it.
You want to know the truth? You want me to make something up?
Well, from your guy Vinny.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because I saw that bet. I'm just thinking, that's crazy. Just going against Volk like that.
I know, and he said, hey, put this bet in. It's a big bet. And so I literally went to my DraftKings Sports app, hashtag DK partner, and I put that thing in there, money line, the whole thing, $1,000 on it right there.
Did you watch?
I fell asleep.
So you got to wake up to the good news.
Present. Woke up with the present. It's tough, man, being out in the East Coast with the UFC. It's not done until like 11 o'clock.
The West Coast was nice.
Nice. That thing
Started like 7.
Beautiful.
It was over like 9:45.
It's the best, man. It is the best. Speaking of West Coast, speaking of Vegas, I know you guys have talked about it, but when you guys left, your boy had another opportunity with MGK. And it went very well.
Really?
It went very well.
Yeah, talk about that because you had mentioned it kind of in passing because it was him and Jelly Roll, right?
Right. So the first night was at Power Slap, which, by the way, Jack, I know we've been to every single Power Slap. How epic was this last Power Slap at Durango?
It felt different.
Felt
There was
different.
a lot of energy, a lot of big people there. It was fun.
It was a cool, yeah. You know how Jack talks, though. It's like that is enthusiasm for him. So yeah, we go to that, and then obviously this guy named Steven, I believe his name is. He's MGK's manager. Also, he's partners with Rob Muji, for those of you who are wondering, in the same agency. He's like, MGK is going to be here in a little bit. I was like, hey, man, I love MGK. I love his music. I think he brought back a whole entire genre, blah, blah, blah. I give him my little elevator pitch on why I'm a fan of MGK. He comes up to me as I'm actually we're getting the other boys in, you guys in, and he's walking up. Obviously, I see him. Obviously, you and I are talking. And
he was literally talking about gambling. He's like, I got this $1,000 trip right here.
$1,000
I'm
trip
just
right
saying
here.
there like, yo.
Hey, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
That was hype.
Meeting MGK.
But I met MGK, and I met, people call him Kels. I'll call him Kels for right now. He like threw his shoulder, he like dapped me up and like threw his shoulder into me. And then when we were talking, he's kind of looking me up and down. I don't know if you noticed that. He was kind of like looking at me, sizing me up a little bit. And I'm thinking, come on, man. Like, we don't want to do this. We're trying to be boys right now. And it was very quick, very much. It was easy enough for me to be like, I didn't like that experience. It wasn't a great experience for me. Very much.
Meet your heroes.
Yeah. It was kind of like one of those.
That's
like,
one of your guys.
It also, to me, was like great in one way because tormented artist. That's what he comes off to be. And to see him like that, I was like, good. like his art is going to be so beautiful in this next album. Obviously, I hope he gets help, hope he figures it all out. So the next day I'm at UFC after a Saturday with Jelly, and it was great because it was like not a whole lot of people there. It was at the Apex. It was just me and Jelly just catching up, hanging out for like a couple hours. And I let him know the same story I just told you guys. Like, listen, like Jelly and Kels are like boys. And so he's like telling me he was probably just wearing something. I know the Sean Strickland video came out about Sean Strickland calling him a freak and all that. I'm pretty sure that happened
on the Bird app. Good night on the Bird app.
I'm pretty sure that happened after. It's not a big deal. But I told him, I was like, yeah, man, it was kind of a disappointing first impression. It just seemed like the dude was wearing a whole lot, and it was just a tough come by. And so that night, I'm at Red Rocks. Dana hits me up, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I'm here. He goes, come to Caesars. I believe it is. Come to Caesars to this place called Pinky Ring. Your night's going to change. I'm thinking, sick. Because we know Caesars, what he bets there is $75,000 a hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking away game. The new stresses are there. I'm in a car. I'm driving over. I'm very nervous. I get a text from this lady named Evelyn who is going to bring me into the Pinky Ring. It turns out Pinky Ring is this very, it's right in the middle of the casino of Caesars or Bellagio. They both look very similar. It's like this little arena type of looking thing, but it's just like a bar, like a speakeasy kind of bar. And I walk in there and I hear this fucking golden voice that's like literally piercing my ears. And I'm like, oh my God, whoever's singing right now is incredible. Turns out that individual is Bruno Mars. Hit a right hand, start walking. I see Dana, his boy Skip's there, Hunter's there. Hunter now. That boy moved them hips. He got
he was out there dancing.
My God, with Bruno Mars. He was moving those hips like crazy. So we sit there, we're hanging out.
I would catch a grenade for you.
And he's like, I know we got somebody in the audience tonight. I think it was like Baby something. Baby Face or Baby something.
Baby
I don't know.
Baby Keem?
I don't know. I think that's BB King. You're thinking of BB King. But yeah, he's like, I got somebody in the audience, blah, blah, blah. And then Hunter and Dana are getting hyped up. I don't know who this guy is. He starts singing, hands the mic to Buddy, and the Buddy starts going fucking off. And I'm like, oh my. And you guys know I'm not a big concert guy, but for me, I'm like enjoying the fuck out of this moment. And he's singing, some lady comes up, she starts ripping. They're like, he says he turns the place into a strip club. All of a sudden he's playing crazy music and he's like doing his thing. It was a unbelievable experience. I say that all just to flex on how cool my night was.
I was ready for MGK to kind of come in.
No. He's coming later, I promise. But I just wanted to paint.
Picture in my face. I'm fucking, hey, yo.
Yeah.
My life's awesome.
Also, Dana gets on the phone while we're there, and he's like, okay, cool. And he hangs up the phone and goes, hey, Jay-Z and Beyonce are going to come. They're going to sit at our table with us. I was like, oh, for real? He's like, yeah. So, he's like, they'll be here in about 5 minutes. They didn't come. But I wanted to tell you guys that because I wanted you to feel that piece of excitement I just felt, right? You guys get that? That was nice. Hold that in tight because we're going to go to Caesars now. We finished the concert. We end up ripping over, getting in the car, going over like a 2-lane road over to Caesars. We pop in there. We go to Caesars into the high roller room. They got a similar situation to Red Rock with how there's a room behind the room.
Mm-hmm.
But this room, like double doors open up, security sitting there with their earpieces on, like, you're the president or something, opens the door, walks down this long hallway with a bathroom and an emergency exit, and then it opens up into a room where it's like baccarat, craps, roulette, and one blackjack table. And there's just like 5 people just sitting in there, like ready to deal you with whatever game you want. And it's like, no one is allowed in there. We get in with Dana. Dana ends up playing. Bing, bang, boom. 3 hands, 3 dubs. $200,000 for him.
Did you enter the Tunnel of Chaos?
I did not enter the 75. They asked the guy, his boy Nick, was like, are you playing? And Dana, like a father, goes, he's not going to play here. He's good right now. And I'm like, thank you. Because I would have, but that's terrifying, right? Like the implications are so much more. So then Jelly's coming. So we wait for an hour or so. Jelly ends up coming. He's playing. Then Jelly's like, Kels is going to come. So now I'm thinking redemption. Go in the bathroom, take a piss. We're waiting for like 30, 40 minutes. Now he comes. He's gambling with everybody. Now we have a big crowd, about 15
and
people.
Just to be clear, Kels is MGK?
Kels is MGK.
Okay.
So Bunny, his Jelly Roll's wife, she's over there with a group of girls. And I go over, hey guys, nice to meet you, Taylor. And I see Bunny give her a big hug. And then I cruise back over the table. Well, one girl looked very familiar, looked unique and beautiful. And it was Megan Fox. His wife, obviously, that was there too. But I couldn't recognize her at all because it's like, I think of Megan Fox, I'm thinking Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Right next
hood
to
up. Hood up.
Yeah,
hood up.
Yeah, hood, the whole thing, the hood up. Yeah,
Everybody knows.
Hey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She looked completely different. Still look fantastic. Anyway, Megan Fox was there, but I saw Kels. He's like, "Hey, dude, good to see you again." Daps me up like we've been boys for a minute. He starts talking to me. He's like, blah, blah, blah. And I give him the whole, "Hey, man, Tickets to My Downfall, best album in the last 20 years since Blink-182's self-titled album." And we start talking about Blink-182, and he's loving it. But I'm 95% sure Jelly Roll hit Kels up and was like, "My boy Taylor, the first impression wasn't great. Just know he's going to be there tonight." It literally felt like that. And to that, I say thank you, Jelly Roll, because it was, even if it was fake, I still think of MGK as the fucking man now. So that was a very cool experience. He ended up winning a bunch of money. It was a killer time. We're leaving, and we're still talking about music. He's like, "Hey, if you got any like advice or you want to go over songs or something like that, like let me know." What I'm thinking,
Yeah,
I look
that's
at him, I
awesome.
go, "Bro, I'm not creative enough to do that." Like, I appreciate you. That's when it really hit me. Like, okay, yeah, Jelly definitely said something. But I was like, "Hey, I appreciate it, but your boy's never written a song in his life." And he's like, "Oh, it's all good. Maybe we can get something going."
You could have said like, "But you ever want to throw something my way and you want my feedback?
Let me have your number.
Yeah,
Give it to me right now.
Slide in there with some digits."
Yeah. So anyway, that was a very cool experience. Next day, headed home, exhausted, tired boy.
Yeah.
But overall, an incredible trip. So much fun.
Yeah. The boys did very well
Yeah.
with the Super Bowl week.
It was everything we'd hoped it would be.
Mhm.
Maybe more.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
a movie, some would say.
I hate that you said that, but it's true. It's so true. And Big Cat, I was whispering to him after we all gambled together. For those of you who haven't seen the Tunnel of Chaos vlog, all
Great
the
vlog,
Barstool-
by the way. Go
great
check out
vlog.
the Tunnel of Chaos vlog.
We were sitting there after. I go, "It's a movie?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's kind of a movie." And I was like, "Yes, I fucking told you,
It's
dude.
Kind of a movie.
Kind of a movie."
You know what else is kind of a movie?
What's that?
Cars.com.
Oh, they are.
Leading digital marketplace that connects car shoppers with their perfect car, celebrating 25 years of helping shoppers research, find inventory, finance, and sell cars. Wherever life takes you next, and whoever you're looking to be, there's a car for that on Cars.com. Up to 50,000 cars are added daily to Cars.com. Shop over 2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Find your next possibility on Cars.com. Where to next?
Only you know.
Have a docuseries just dropped. The Dynasty, New England Patriots.
Really?
Get on that.
On what?
Apple Plus.
Oh, I'll be on that tonight.
Yeah, Apple Plus. There's the first 2 episodes are released. I think they're going to release 1 episode a week. There's going to be 10 in the season. It's awesome.
That
The very
fires
first
me up.
episode talks about basically it's called the backup plan. So it's Tom getting drafted 6th round. He was like 4th on the depth chart with 4 quarterbacks there. What's really cool about it is his buddy, and I hate that I'm fucking butchering. I hate that I can't remember his name, but a teammate of his on the Patriots. He played at Purdue. Tom played at Michigan, and they were boys and roommates. He's got a recorder out a lot because they lived together. They were roommates. So there's a lot of like old footage of Tom, like of the boys, like back in their rookie year and everything else, which is super fucking cool. And I didn't realize because this was back in what
2001?
2001.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the tension and the politics and the moment that was going on when Drew Bledsoe had gotten hurt. Like I knew he got hurt and Tom came in. It's like the rest is history, right? But I didn't know Drew Bledsoe was like $100 million. He just got paid as $100 million quarterback.
10 year, right?
Yeah. His injury was so bad that the doc was like, if you don't have the the response by the team in the NFL and everything like that, like if he doesn't get to the doctor and say he lays there for an extended period of time, like he dies because he was basically bleeding out internally.
What was his injury?
He just got fucked up. Have you guys watched it
Taylor's
yet?
oldest time.
I don't have it.
He was taking off on a scramble and got lit the fuck up and literally
Play that clip for
just
me.
laid there, bro. And they talk about how he was ultimately, he could have died had he just laid there for an extended period of time, but like lacerated some artery, like a lot of
Spleen.
different shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's thinking like he's the golden boy of New England. Like everybody's hyped the $100 million, like he's good in the community. He's all the things you want as a quarterback. Everybody loved him. And Tom has one game where they win. Then the second game, like they lose. And it's just all the drama that circulates around Bill Belichick saying, no, we're going to stick with Tom. And Robert Kraft, he didn't like it. He thought Bledsoe was treated unfairly. Bledsoe's losing his career or losing his job to an injury like that.
Play that back.
When he's a $100 million quarterback, pop. And trust me, in real time, or what they made it seem like he got fucking killed because it was like
Yeah,
from
because
a
it
back
doesn't
view.
look that bad, but he lacerated his spleen, got all messed
They
up.
set up the boy Bledsoe too because he's like, I feel like in chaos is where I start to thrive, and they show this play like right after he says it, and just gets fucked up, and like Drew Bledsoe again being very intertwined with the New England Patriots organization, like mind you, $100 million quarterback.
Right.
Like, he was the golden boy in
He's
the
the guy
NFL.
sitting, wait, who do you want to draft?
He was in backyard football. He was in all the different stuff, like probably Wheaties.
Blitz.
Yeah, all those things. And he's just like, he's thinking and saying like their lockers are next to each other. And you can tell he's holding back on saying like, this should be my job when I come back. Or I'm thinking this is going to be my job when I come back. And I call Bill. I'm like, hey, I just got cleared medically. And Bill kind of does the Bill thing. Like, didn't seem too excited. Like, I thought he'd be a little more enthused that I was coming back. And they stuck with Tom Brady, bro. And they go back into when Bill was the head coach of the Browns back in '94, and I think his name was like Bernie Kosar. How he was doing well, and then there's a downfall with the Browns to where they're showing him hanging Bill Belichick and the owner Art or whoever it is, and how it was such a bad breakup with the Browns because he stuck with some quarterback, and him and the VP of player scouting and everything else that's internally going on with Bill around Bill. They're saying like, hey, if we don't get this right, we have all this PTSD from what happened with the Browns. We're choosing to go Brady, who's a 6th-round pick who doesn't have the pedigree, instead of the $100 million. Like we could easily just go back to this,
Right.
and they choose not to do it. Like it's going to be an incredible docuseries.
How long is the episodes?
Probably like 40 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, not almost not like 57,
Yeah.
60 minutes. We're talking a good digestible, like you're in it a good 40 minutes. And how they basically bring back and build this dynasty. But it gets into like the nitty-gritty.
God damn, that fires me up.
And just how competitive Tom was. It's cool, bro. It's really
Is it
fucking
shot
cool.
similarly to The Last Dance?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I think it'll be better
Shows
than
them
Last
sitting
Dance.
there.
I think it'll
Tom
be better.
Brady talking about it.
Yeah.
I love that. Fires
Each
me
coach
up.
sits down. You get to see an old cameo of Raves where he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Tom," and like spikes the ball because McGinnis, like they talked about how it was like their team. It wasn't Tom's. It wasn't Bill's. Or it wasn't Bill Belichick's team. Like it felt like a collective. We need to do the right things, run the football, play good defense, all that other stuff. And they would talk like how the defense would just talk so much shit to Tom and the offense when they'd fuck up. And Willie McGinnis, like he's a shit talker. He's like a badass cat. And he's like, I'm Vraves. Like he's one of those guys who has zero line. And it just shows this clip of Vraves being like, "Shut the fuck up, Tom." Just out of nowhere. And then he's like, hey, Vraves, like you might need to relax. He's like, "Oh, Tom's gonna be fine." Then you see Vraves sit down, and Vraves has a little cameo. Like
No
they have
shit.
all these
All
old
right,
heads
Braves.
coming and sitting down and like pouring into the dynasty that was built in New England. It is
Man.
fucking cool, bro.
It fires me up. There's got like, and especially when you know somebody that's in it.
Right.
You feel that?
Yeah. You can
Hey.
see Vraves being a young Thundercat.
I know. Tom Brady was at a Power Slap on Friday
Yeah.
at the Super Bowl week, and he just had a glow about him.
Did
Just
you
saw
get
him.
the
No, he was over there sitting with Dana, and he was kind of up and at him immediately. Saw Pat went and sat down after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw Pat and the whole crew.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you were walking out or walking in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's cool. I gotta check that out, dude. I really want to because that everything you just said, the way you just painted it for me, fires me up.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you pour into being a fan of that moment in time and like appreciating it all. And then I'm sitting there thinking like this story for on Tom Brady, like being the GOAT, like being somebody who was like just at the bottom, not politically, but has to awkwardly, like when the day does come and we have him on Bussin With The Boys, but talking through that awkward stage of cameras being there, people just, they're showing all the old clips of like, Pardon the Interruption, all the talking shows, Collinsworth, you got Scott Van Pelt, he's a young Scott Van Pelt with hair. They're all talking like this is such a dumb decision. Like you got to go. This is definitely Bledsoe's job when he comes back. Everybody's talking like, no, there's no Tom Brady. Like he's just there until Bledsoe comes back. And then Tom gets the nod and they're all like trying to crucify Bill. What's going to happen? Tom's first game when they're both on the sideline. Tom's throwing 2 picks, a young London Fletcher backer, greatest show on turf. Boom, picks him off. They lose that game. They're questioning him even more. It's like, you're in it. Like you just want to pick Tom's brain of like awkwardly being in those moments, knowing that Bledsoe's standing there, not hoping for your downfall, but hoping that it gets shoved up his ass. Because Kraft is talking to Bledsoe like, hey, maybe Tom doesn't play well, and then I can easily. He's like, I could go in and tell Bill. I don't want to tell you everything. I'm telling everybody. I'm
Yeah.
blowing it
I
all.
was mesmerized. I'm
Yeah.
glad you stopped.
I'm blowing it all, but
Yeah.
it's cool, man.
I love your passion behind it. I'm going to put that on tonight. And if I don't, I'm a bad person. I need to go watch that show tonight.
Yeah. You do. You have to watch it. So that way, I think every week we have to watch it. So that way we have something to talk about, because we will talk about the show. Everybody's saying spoilers, everything else. Listen, this is the Dynasty. You can go back if you're a Patriots fan. You already knew this shit.
You already
anyway.
knew.
Yeah, but it's cool, man.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a fan since Brady's first year of the Patriots and
Or
knowing
being
the
a
whole
fan
thing?
that decade before, and you just
Yeah.
hadn't, their second playoff game ever. I don't think they ever hosted a playoff game,
Mhm.
and so they won the division. The very last game in the stadium before Gillette was hosting a playoff game. So bringing that to the city. Robert Kraft was a longtime Patriot fan. They go through him buying it's really cool.
Damn. What do you say, Jack?
Well, I got a fan question. It was good since off season. Things are getting a little slower, but as of today, Monday, there's 199 days until football starts again. We have a fan question from Idaho_Rambler. Top 3 Sunday activities between now and kickoff. So for this off season, what's your top 3 Sunday activities?
Between now and kickoff?
Yeah, during the off season. It doesn't have to be as players, just as fans. When there's nothing to do on Sundays anymore, when you just watch football for 8 hours a day.
Could be a tier talk.
Yeah, that's where the.
Okay. Could be a
if
tier
you want
talk.
to take some time to do that and think about it, you can.
I like this one off the cuff.
Oh,
You want
shit.
to create one together, or you want to create one by ourselves?
Well, I think if we just talk about them out loud, we'll kind of come up with our list.
All right. First one that comes to my head is a nice barbecue with the boys. When the summertime hits, tank tops on, somebody's out there grilling, somebody who hey, well, you got to have Will Compton's ribs. You got to have this guy so and so. Oh, this dude, the mac and cheese he makes, unreal. You kind of create a potluck type of thing. Simple, to the point. Sun's out, Sunday afternoon. Pool's right there. Everyone's catching a tan. You're doing the 10 minutes before you put the sunscreen on because you want to get a nice starter pack going. That is, I feel like, a god tier and a tier 1 to me.
Yeah.
It's
Barbecue tier 1.
Ultimate tier 1.
Barbecue tier 1.
Another one that popped into my head, and I don't know if it's a Sunday, but it is an activity that happens mostly in the off season, only in the off season, and that is, it's specific to you and me, and it's risk, and having a late night that bleeds into Sunday, having a risk night. Didn't like that one as much. That's okay.
No. I like it. I just feel like there's a lot of options.
I know. But I'm brainstorming. We're brainstorming right now. I think you sit there and it's 2:30 in the morning and you're still contemplating the boys. Do we play one more? That's a moment.
Yeah.
That's a time.
We can change it. Let's switch it up to weekend activities.
Yeah.
Thanks, Iowa Rambler.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I would like to throw in farmers market.
I do like that.
Going to the local farmers market with the fam in the morning on a Saturday. Maybe it's a Sunday, but the farmers market vibes when the sun is at its highest. It's tough to beat.
I know. Even the complaints, it's hot out here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, get them a water.
Yeah.
Go
July
there.
might be tough. July might be tough.
Yeah. Get them an acai bowl. Head over to California, get the breakfast burritos, no tortilla, throw that thing in a bowl for me and make them 2, put them on there.
Yeah.
My God, you're living the dream.
Yeah. I do like a video game session with the boys.
Yeah. What else?
You guys got what's going through your guys' head?
This is probably a very niche one, and it's not for everybody. But now the football's over, NASCAR is back, and there's just something about just on a Sunday throwing on the Cup race. You're gonna take a nap during it. You're gonna wake up with 50 laps left, and that's all you need to. That's all you need to watch. You watch the last 50 laps. You've seen the whole race. So just NASCAR being back and being able to watch that and really dial in on one of your boys just out there trying to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm with that. Yeah.
I know it's a very niche thing.
It is.
There's gonna be some guys that are fired.
Yeah,
up.
fired up about that, man.
Fired up.
I'll say one
By the way, naps. Nap. Incredible activity. That midday nap between the hours of 1 and 3 on the love sack. Sweetheart, I'm going upstairs. You gonna take a nap? You already know.
you already know.
That love sack.
One that a lot of people will be like, yes, I will say no to this, but I'll say it as a vessel. Golfing with the boys. I'm sure a Sunday activity in the springtime when the weather's finally broke.
Oh yeah,
It's
golf
got to
for
be
sure.
for a lot of people very nice.
Bike rides too. I
Bike ride.
like to hop on the old cycler and just get out there, just take it all in. Some deep breathing.
Yeah,
Get out there,
okay.
maybe ground yourself out in the
That
park.
Wim Hof going.
Yeah.
Fires.
Ooh.
Bonfire.
Sitting out by a fire with the boys, lighting some stogies.
The crackle. The stars.
Yeah, bro.
That's a nice time.
Also coming up soon, the March Madness. We're nearing it. I know we're not the biggest basketball pod, but I do think we dive into some brackets this year, get a little competition going.
I'm down with that.
And when there's no football, you turn to the next best thing. And for me, that's basketball. And March Madness is one of the greatest times ever in sports. So I'm excited for that here in the next month.
I want to chase that because everybody talks about jumping on old DraftKings and just immersing yourself in the sports
Hashtag
betting
DK partner.
hashtag DK partner. Immersing yourself in the March Madness because they say that's like the best betting time of the year. So I do want to get involved with that. And Mark Titus, shout out the Mark Titus show. He said he did a podcast to catch everybody up. If you're somebody who hasn't been in it and you want to kind of dip your toe into it, basically one that I'm going to digest and listen to is on the Mark Titus show. The boy Mark, he did a podcast for everybody who's not necessarily a fan of college basketball.
You have to send me a link for that because I don't know a whole lot. I know that Michigan's bad.
Nebraska's got a shot. I know that. Nebraska ball, dude.
You think they'll win it all?
Once you get into the dance, you never know. Anybody's game. If you get into the tournament, it's anybody's
game.
Anybody's
That's
fucking
what I need to hear from you just now.
We might have to hit I know a bunch of people at Barstool do it, but might have to do a live stream on the first round of 64.
I think there's talks of the boys going up.
Yeah, going out to Chicago. Getting in the mix.
Get in the mix.
I don't know if that's announced yet. So
they might have something as well at Barstool Nashville.
Okay.
At the bar.
So that's one of the best gambling days of the whole year.
Yeah. Might have to just get a vibe going.
Hashtag DK partner.
I got another one. I got one. Binge watching a show. Something you've put off in the football season and you're like, everybody's talking about it. Like, I gotta make sure and watch that once the season ends. And once the season ends, it's like on the top of your list. Like putting in, hey, it's 3 seasons already. You're just now being put on for whatever reason. You watch literally 12 hours.
Yeah. I think I'll be dipping my toe into that with the show Rome.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I started thinking about the Roman Empire again, and I was like, I wonder if there are any other shows out there because I want some more Game of Thrones, Last Kingdom, and back in my life.
Have you seen Last Kingdom? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Last Kingdom was
fire,
so good. I want to get into Vikings. I've heard that's a really good one, but when I searched the web out there, I saw that there was a show called Rome from 2005 to 2007, 2 seasons, 10 episodes in each season. And it's rated very well on IMDb. I'm a
8.7 based on your tweet.
I am a big believer in IMDb.
Yep.
If a TV show is 8.7, especially back in the mid 2000s, and then people were responding to that saying like, "Oh, I'm so jealous of you. I envy you get to watch that. You get to enjoy it for the first time." I'm excited to dive into Rome.
You need to watch Entourage.
You know what also pairs great with binge watching a TV show on a Sunday?
Getting things delivered to you by Shipped. That's good. Shipped?
Make it easy. Make it easy. I'm going to pee while you do this.
All right, go ahead. Shipped offers reliable, trustworthy same-day shopping and delivery. The joy of real human connection is why customers choose Shipped. That's why connecting with Shipped shoppers and having way more time to connect with the people around you. Shipped is there for all of their customers' needs because they offer a full range of retail options for same-day delivery needs. They are able to bring big and small delights to members' busy lives. Get everything you need delivered by Shipped. Shipped makes shopping for your local stores easy so you don't have to waste any time. Get everything you need, snacks, drinks, hangover supplies, in as soon as 1 hour. That's 60 minutes for those of you that are wondering how long an hour is. Shipped connects you with trusted personalized shoppers that meet your needs. They're proactive, solution-oriented, and they know you. They know what you like, and they care about getting it right. Enjoy a 14-day free trial with unlimited deliveries at shipped.com. 14 days for free. Some guy out there running your errands, 14 days, running in the dirt. That is as good of a deal as you're going to ever get, boys and girls. Will really needs to watch Entourage. He needs to watch that show. It's so incredible. And when he says he's jumping on Rome or Roman or whatever, that fires me up for him because I know it's gonna be a fun journey for him. I love the way he dives into shows. But Entourage is a show that he needs to see. It's got that cult following that he's going to love, especially when we have Mr. Jerry Ferrara on here eventually. Turtle, we have him on this show. That is going to be awesome. There was something else I was going to say. Have you guys seen the new Napoleon movie?
I need to get Apple TV.
Yeah, you need to get Apple TV and get rid of cable. Like that stuff's for the birds. It's my first year doing it.
Oh, I was just looking for my phone.
Hey, that scared the shit out of me.
That is an alarm.
I thought that was
a fire.
there was a child missing 3 blocks away. That was crazy. We were just.
Shoutouts, Garmin.
You think Garmin's gonna come around?
Oh, I have no clue.
They need to.
That'd be sick.
That would
we've
be
been
sick.
chasing a few of them.
We were talking about
Greens.
you diving into shows and how it's special when you do. Anytime you dive into a new show, especially
Yeah.
for anybody, but Entourage, you need to get on that.
I know everybody says that.
Yeah, and
Everybody says
you've drawn a line in the sand with Rome. I get it. You need to watch that first. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good time. But the next one, let me bookmark that for you. Entourage will be your next show.
All right. I love like war type.
No
shows,
question.
man.
No
There's
question.
a couple more I think on
And the
Apple.
politics behind the scenes that bring it all together.
Bro, I love it. The strategy behind it all, all the politicking that happens, the storylines.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, I saw that one that I want to put on there. Band of Brothers is one of the top shows of all time.
You haven't seen Band of Brothers?
No, and then there's another one called that Band of Brothers, the creator of that one, is doing one that's out on Apple Plus now. Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
That's another one I want to check
I
out.
don't know about that one. I need to watch that one.
That one's
fire.
new on Apple Plus.
Movie Napoleon. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Alright.
Because it's like what, 2.5 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, something like that.
I had it on for about 30 minutes. I ended up going to bed because I was too tired. But it was really jump aroundy. Like he gets married, boom, he's getting cheated on. And you're like, whoa, there's no development of the marriage for me to see how much that's going to affect him. So there was a lot of jump around stuff for me that I was like, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I need to give it a full watch. I need to give it a fair watch.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do with your shows. Baby.
That one's rated in the 6s on IMDb.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know, Walking Phoenix.
I hated that. Is that why?
No, Walking Phoenix is.
Yeah, I know.
Star of
He's
the show,
the guy.
which is
So
sad to see because he's such a
right,
great actor.
Right. So I would have thought that'd be like something in the 8s, maybe 7, 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the ratings like you do, but
Yeah, I am immersed.
you are about that.
I'm usually like, okay, I'll watch that.
What rattles me is how much you think about the Roman Empire. I can't. I get it. It's beautiful.
How often do you think about it?
I mean, 5 times a year.
How often do you think about it, Jack?
All the time, dude. This is a whole trend that went on a few months ago.
I know.
But yeah, I mean,
A few months ago, it was August. We were in
think
California.
about it. I mean, roads, literal roads. All like it's the Roman Empire.
Look, I don't want to
Well, the
bore
Roman
everybody.
Empire,
I don't want to bore everybody. I went to Rome last year. I really immersed myself in the culture. So I think about it quite a bit. And ChatGPT is great for all that history shit, dude.
Yeah, I utilize ChatGPT all of the time. And it's mostly for my kids when we're going to bed. Like, hey, you can ask the robot one question. And it's always, how long do foxes live? How long do bears live? How long, it's always like, how long do these animals live?
I love that.
I learn a few things, which is good. Should we do our hypothetical question that usually is presented by Twisted Tea?
Let's do one.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather go to jail for
back there.
1 year straight?
Shout out Twitter for this one.
Yeah, I need to
It
actually.
needs to be 5 years or 6 at least to equate to the amount of time in that 1 year. I saw that one.
Yeah. So do you know what we'll do
Prison
that one?
for a year every day, or prison for the next 3 years, but only on weekends. But if you just do the next 3 years,
There's 52 weekends in a year. That's 150 days.
right? So you need to do like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And you have to go on the weekends. Like there's no any weekend plan anywhere.
I'll probably just do the year.
I think so too.
Yeah, immerse yourself in the culture. See what crew you're going to end up rolling with.
Yeah.
Become boys. Try not to get stabbed. Figure out the totem pole of, who's in charge, who's not. Do you want to overthrow him? Do you not want to overthrow him?
What do you want me to do
What's
when I
that
get
look
out?
like? Yeah. Have that talk.
Yeah.
If I go every weekend, they're going to get jealous. Like it's Sunday. Oh, Taylor's leaving. Eventually, I'm going to come back one Friday and they're like, you're not leaving anymore. And they're going to stab my ass.
Or I think you like, if you have to do it for say, 3 years, like, and you have to stay disciplined to that, like it's just gonna suck. All your weekends are in prison.
Yeah.
You
Those
could
5
be.
days,
You could be that. This is from JP brought up this point. Like you could be that dude that comes on the weekends, like just bring some stuff for the boys. Like you just kind of you're like the plug for
Yeah,
the weekend.
that's a fun idea when it starts. Hey, I brought some Uncrustables for the boys, pack of Marlboro cigarettes. Everyone's having a good time. Now all of a sudden you're a meal shoving heroin up your ass trying to get to the boys. You're in a whole lot more trouble. No, now it's no longer weekends.
Or hey, did you take care of that guy I told you to take care of on the
Right.
outside?
If you don't do this, you're out of the brotherhood.
Yeah, I got 30 pairs of eyes on your family right now.
Right. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I can't.
If I'm just in prison for a year, hey, what'd you do? Murder, double homicide. Oh, really? Don't fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
Now
But
I'm walking
getting
around.
out. Yeah, but I'm getting out in a year. My lawyer, he's really
No,
good.
you don't say that. You just kind of let it ride.
Yeah, but I want that to know is some bargaining power for whatever crew's trying to rape me. Like, hey, what do you need me to do once I get
forgot
out
about
of
the
here?
rape. I forgot about the rape.
Yeah.
That's a smart thing.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
That's
Whenever I
heads
get
up,
out of here,
non-rape
like
stuff.
I get it. I get to leave. It's bullshit. I think so too. But what I can do for you on the outside, I'll make sure to get done.
That's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope.
Yeah. You gotta do one bad thing when you get out. You guys get one, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you promise a couple others and never fulfill it.
Yeah.
You know how it works.
Who sent in that question? Give him a little shout out. Come on, Mitch. You're just gonna ask the question, but not give the.
Take all the credit, huh, Mitch?
He wanted to.
You did.
We would have never heard about that.
You literally the 1 hour the 1 year you knew the question immediately.
Yeah.
The where I saw it was on Instagram is from Jacob Lawrence.
Shout out Jacob Lawrence, dude.
Bobby Lowe 50.
Shout out
Appreciate
to
you.
boy, man.
Is there anything else we're missing, boys? Anything else we need?
There was a good question last week that we were passing around the shop. Jack, this would be good because you weren't a part of it. What are you most afraid to pass down to your children?
Well, I had to think about that.
You gotta take a minute.
What was yours?
Mine was. It was like, it's like being afraid to pass down the expectation that they have to like earn my love, like earn me being proud of them. Because there's a lot of times growing up, and I know my old man, he watches all of our. He's a tier 1. I love my dad. But he was obviously hard on us, and he was always somebody I felt like in sports I would have to perform or do well to have something to kind of like, talk about or him be proud of or like have that kind of awesome pat on the back. He was always great at doing that, but I just always felt I felt like that as a young athlete, like with my old man.
Yeah.
And so like with Rue or any of my kids, I would probably be afraid of like doing that.
We share that same
Yeah.
childhood of being like the sports were the thing, like make or break the week, make or break the month.
Yeah.
For the dinner table.
Yeah. My dad loved me a lot. Probably a lot more than you.
I got to think about that. That's a good one. I don't have that fear. Having 2 girls now, if I have a boy, I could see that fear coming. But with my girls, like Wynn played soccer, and I was like, kind of just wanted her to try. All I cared about was like, hey, listen, I don't care if you're good. I just want you to try hard. That's all that matters to me. And she wasn't very good. No disrespect, Wynn. When you get older and you look at the archives, maybe that's gone now.
Yeah, or maybe she's great.
Maybe she's great now.
What
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
It was really
And
bad.
so, but to me, I wasn't like disappointed. Like I don't think they'll ever feel that, which is nice.
Yeah. Genetically, I'd just say like my horniness. That's what I was telling the boys.
Yeah. You are horny.
Yeah.
But it's good to be that horny, I think.
Yeah, it means your
It's a
testosterone
motivator.
levels are up.
Yeah, it's a motivator. Being horny is like as primitive as it can possibly be. Like you just hunter gatherer. Like if I get this mammoth, I'm gonna get laid.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Because Mitch had one too. He's like, it was a hypothetical, and one side of it was like you get a stiffy every time you see an attractive woman, or you come of every hour of every day, which is insane. And I was like, bro, I mean, how many boners do we get a day? Like it's like scientific that we get like double-digit boners throughout the course of 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like that already happens.
I don't know if that's true.
You should look at your T then.
Yeah, you should probably check out your testosterone.
But I'm saying obviously you wake up with morning wood, yes. But when else are you getting hard at work?
I am right now.
Why do you think this bottle's right here in front of my pants?
The average man, there we go. Thank you, Jack. The average man has 11 erections a day, as well as many more when they are asleep. On average, a healthy man has 3 to 5 erections during a full night's sleep.
Sick.
I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I by myself on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I mean, dude, you probably should look into your tea.
Check out your T levels.
No, see, I think the
healthy.
horniness. You don't want the horniness.
Yeah, what's a
You don't
gene?
think
What's
that
a
way.
gene you would hate to pass down to your daughters?
I don't know, a gene, because like, is the want for your father's approval a gene thing?
No, they're. I'm saying I basically just changed it to
Genetically, like for me,
Genetically, I feel like
hereditary.
I feel bad for my kids that they had like how flat my feet are.
yeah, like hereditary or
I'm
like,
diabetic. I would hate if my kids.
That's
also were
a good
diabetic.
one. It's a
That
low
would
hanging
break my
fruit, good
heart,
one.
But statistically, if I have 4 kids, one of them is probably gonna have it, which will suck. But that's what I thought of immediately.
Yeah.
I would say it's so hard because there's like one in my head that I'm like trying to piece together, but it's like if I say it incorrectly, it'll come off like too deep, and that's not necessarily my
say it
thought.
incorrectly.
I'll say it correctly. I would not want for my kids to have a constant like earning to feel fulfillment through like success, like having success in certain areas. Like I'd want them to find fulfillment
Like feel
easier.
like they're enough. Feel like they're
I feel
enough.
like they're enough just being them and being the best person they can be, as
Mhm.
opposed to, oh, I got to do all these things and I want to be the best at this and all, like constantly trying to be the best at whatever category everyone's the subject they're talking about in.
Like not allowing the external world to dictate how if they're
Yeah.
up or down.
Yeah, that would probably be mine, because that happens a lot with me. Not as much as it used to, but still happens quite frequently, but especially with football. It was always like, if I'm not the absolute best, I'm a complete failure. I could be second best and I'd be like, I'm the worst.
Right. And the fear of like projecting that down, like
Yeah.
those times.
Yeah. To
I
me,
feel that.
for my kids, it's all about just like, if you're going to do something, do it the best, like to the best you do as hard as you can, like the best you possibly can. Outcome is not what you care about.
Yeah. Success is the journey, not the destination.
That's right.
Should we talk about Stephen A?
Yeah,
This
We
is an
absolutely
electric podcast. This was all time.
it is. And there was things in this podcast that Stephen A started talking about that he knows that other people didn't know, but that's how he got into the world of, like, he talks about being a beat writer and getting into it with Allen Iverson, and how like he dodged him for like 3 days because of whatever thing. And he ends up showing up to a club, and just a great storyteller, a passionate man. Now there is a clip that should be in here, Mitch, that is black and white with the music over it, that whole type of thing. That's about him being number one. Yeah, it could be in the episode,
not in the
or just
but
clips.
as a
I want a
clip,
clip.
yeah.
I want a clip
For Motiversity.
Yes, exactly.
The YouTube
This
channel
dude-
Motiversity.
This dude, the way he operates, we ask him about, like, you see his competitive nature. We talk to him about McAfee, and a guy like him, young gun, who's just, his numbers are going crazy. How does that make you feel from like a teammate standpoint, and then also a competitive standpoint? He gets into all that, gets into how, where he came from, how he came from it, his process, his drive for success, his new podcast that he has. Truly a great interview.
Yeah, you can tell he's very calculated. Like he talks about alluding to trying to always be 10 steps ahead. I feel like there's something to that where he has his own platform with the Stephen A show. I mean, he's obviously on TV. He's been on TV every day for how long did he say? 20, 30 years?
22 years, I think. maybe.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
which is insane.
he knows
his workload is nuts. But you can tell he's a very ambitious individual. And there's like a lot of good stuff that you'll be able to listen to and like take from, and
Yeah.
the sacrifice he kind of puts into it all in thinking ahead of, like, in my opinion, it's like he did now with his new show and doing all the things outside of ESPN. He wants to be able to establish, like, hey, ESPN, like, I want you, but I don't need you.
Right. I mean, he knew exactly to the day how long until his contract's up,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great. I hope you guys enjoy it. Literally these last 3 episodes since Ed McAfee, we obviously dropped the ball with Big Cat, and we'll get another shot at that hopefully.
God, that sucks.
I know that audio pissed me off. man.
Remake that magic. with Big Cat,
It's
man.
just so brutal, dude. It really is. But the last few, we love how well received it's been. We love how you guys always give comments, suggestions, everything. Here's a suggestion for you, dude. I know football season's over. And you think,
Days are dark.
am I still going to have my favorite, most delicious drink on the weekends? The answer is absolutely yes, dude. Twisted Tea is a refreshing hard iced tea made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol, full of flavor and very refreshing. Twisted Tea goes down smooth and there is no carbonation, what makes it easy to drink all day long. Twisted Tea feels fun and celebrates extreme fandom on game day. It is the perfect alcohol/beverage for game day. Whether you're tailgating on the parking lots, you don't need to hear that part because it's no longer game day unless you're going tailgating for the basketball, everything like that. Barbecues, keeping it twisted. The weather is changing. All right. I know it doesn't feel like it for some of you where you're at in the country, but the summer, the spring is on the horizon. Twisted Tea tastes delicious in the wintertime, but I promise you, brother, when you have a pair of swim trunks on and you dive into a pool, swim across a pool, immediately get up, grab yourself a Twisted Tea, crack it, and sip it, there is not a feeling like that feeling, dude. Grab yourself a refreshing Twisted Tea today. Let's get into this episode with Stephen A. Big hugs and tiniest of kisses.
Taylor, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin With The Boys. Very special guest today, the legend. If you've been turned on ESPN ever, probably in your entire life, you've seen this man sitting in front of you, giving takes, going at people, having absolute receipts for everything, Mr. Stephen A. Smith.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, living the dream, man. We're happy you came on. We actually just saw you an hour ago,
right?
Doing a little hit on ESPN. I will tell you this: it is a very unique thing doing real TV because it's so fast paced.
It is. It is. It's fast paced, and in our case, it's live. Mm-hmm. So you mess up, you mess up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it ain't like somebody's gonna say we don't even have a 7-second delay. So, you know, any kind of hiccup that takes place, you could say the wrong word, the wrong thing or whatever, and you can find yourself in trouble. So that's the pressure that comes along with doing live television, but I like it. So it is what it is.
How do you manage to keep your level of enthusiasm, work ethic with everything you're doing? You're also now in the podcast space, right, which is a massive one, by the way. And shout out your boy Bailey, who's here. I've followed him a while, and I know he kind of does a lot of your stuff. But
yeah, he does. How
do you manage all of that stuff?
Well, you got to do what you love. That's number one. I don't have a job. I have a career. I've often said when I give speeches and lectures, I say a job is doing what you have to do to sustain or elevate your quality of life. A career is doing what you want to do, and it just so happens to do those things. But I also think the pressure of covering sports contributes to that kind of mentality. You know, you guys played in the NFL. You've got guys I'm covering that played in the NBA, Major League Baseball, professional boxers, UFC fighters, et cetera, et cetera. These are the best in the world. And when you consider the fact that you not only didn't do what they did on that level, but it was because you couldn't, yet you get to sit in judgment of how they performed, how receptive folks should be to how they perform, how receptive people should be to your commentary about it, then you owe it to everybody to make sure that you put forth a full-fledged effort with passion and enthusiasm to let everybody know not only are you not playing around, but you care that much. Mm-hmm. And so that's the very least that you can do, and that's what I try to bring to the table.
When you're fighting through that process of knowing that these guys are playing at the highest level, doing their thing at the highest level, and you are sitting there in judgment, how was the process for you as far as like feeling comfortable with putting out a judgment, knowing you essentially haven't done what they did?
You know, it was easy for me in this regard. I remember when I started out in the business, and I had a clerical position at the Winston-Salem Journal newspaper in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, because I went to Winston-Salem State University, which is an historically black college and university. And I went there, and the sports editor, my first week on the job, sent me to Wake Forest University right down the road. Wake Forest was the number 3 ranked team in the nation in soccer. The only soccer match I had ever watched was Pele in the 1980 Olympics for the, I guess, right? And so what happened is that I knew nothing about soccer, and I went to the coach who's now deceased, God rest his soul. His name was Walt Chiselwich. And I walked up to him and I say, I know absolutely nothing about soccer. I've never covered it on anything, sir. But the boss sent me over here to do a feature on you guys, and I don't know what I'm doing. But I really want to be a sports writer. Could you help me? And he summoned the entire team over. And he said, for the next 3 days, because my piece was due in a week, he said, for the next 3 days, you guys are to give complete, unadulterated access to Stephen to Stephen. Any question he asked, you answer. And he said, you, Stephen, meanwhile, every single practice of every day this week, you will be standing right next to me. And he taught me the game of soccer. And then when I finished the piece, which ultimately had the sports editor call me into his office the next day and say, congratulations, you're the new beat writer for Wake Forest Soccer. When I went to the coach after that and let him know, he said to me, what do you think you've learned? What do you think you should have learned? I said, listen and learn. He said, you didn't play soccer, but you learn from those who do. And as long as you do that, then you're in a position to critique any of us, because the knowledge that you're getting is not of your own. It's one that was provided to you. And as long as you make sure you articulate that, you will be respected, because they know the lens that you're looking through is not that of your own. It's of ours. And I carried that with me for the rest of my career.
How was it when you started to get those close personal relationships with athletes? Like, you're obviously covering, and now you are, I mean, you're obviously a superstar now and everybody knows you. But as you're growing and then getting those closer relationships with guys, and then having to go on TV and talk about, stuff that as an athlete, is like personal to you, how did you start to balance that as you're getting those friendships?
The parts about your performance never faze me, because you perform in a public platform. So the games themselves speak for themselves. You shoot 2 for 20, it's on you. You throw 3 interceptions, that's on you. You fumble 3 times or whatever, you get burned and you're a cornerback and somebody catches to over 200 yards on you, okay? That's on you. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing I can do for you. And that is what it is, and I don't give a damn about how you feel, because that was in a public setting and you put yourself on Front Street, and that's what you have to deal with. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff subject to interpretation and perspective, or the personal stuff that I'm very, very guarded about. Because what happens is that if I have a relationship with you, the assumption is that there's a trust. How do you become friends with people? Do you become friends with people you have no trust for? You don't believe in it all? You think every word out of their mouth is a damn lie? No, that's not what you do. Usually you cultivate these relationships, and there's an affinity for one another and a level of trust that's built. So when somebody comes with a different perspective than the person you have a relationship with, and it's in opposition to what they're saying to you, it can get tricky. And at that particular moment in time, you have to remind that friend, that person who's become a friend that you've cultivated a close relationship with, look, I've got an obligation to be fair. Even if I know or I believe you and I think they may not be telling the truth, they're saying this for the record. Now, off the record, I ain't going to do that to you. But if they say to you on the record, you know what, he ain't shit. He's a liar, this is what he did, and blah, blah, blah. It's not like I can make up a quote. I got to quote him. That's what he said. I got to give it to him, okay? And give you an opportunity to respond. So it can get challenging in that regard, but that really calls for you to remind somebody of your professionalism, your ethics, the responsibility that comes along with the job title that you have. And it also serves as a reminder to that person that trusts you. Why did you trust me to begin with? Because I exercised those same principles in cultivating the relationship I did with you. I can't go against it just because you're my man. I can't do that. And I've had those situations in my career before, confronted by those kind of things, whether it be Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan himself. The list goes on and on. You certainly have had those things where people have given their different perspectives aside that would be different from something that they said to me or whatever. And that's the challenge that you have to deal with. But when you're known as being straight up and up and up, what you learn to find from professional athletes that they appreciate most is not being blindsided. They see you coming. They ain't open the paper or turn on the TV the next day and are utterly shocked by what you're doing. And I think the greatest example of that was Isaiah Thomas when he was the head coach of the New York Knicks. They looked horrible. And there was a game in which they lost by 45 to Boston in Boston. And it was the most emotional that I had ever been in my career, because I actually called him up and I almost started crying, because he's the person that granted me my first ever interview as a reporter. And I had to call him to let him know, tomorrow I'm calling for you to be fired.
Oh, damn.
Because it was that bad. It was that bad. And I knew that he had a lot going on a personal level. His mom was dying, and, he wasn't all there with the New York Knicks at that particular. There's so much stuff that was going on in his personal life that he had to deal with, that it really didn't give the ideal example of what he was capable of doing as a coach. But the situation had regressed to such a point. Nobody worth their salt could support him staying on board. And I had to call him to let him know, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. And he said to me, do what you got to do, bro. I understand.
Is that a common thing for you
What?
when you have a relationship with somebody and it goes downhill in a certain way where you give them a call and you let them know this is how I'm about to go about business?
I'm the kind of person, even if I don't have a relationship with you, if I know you and I know I can get in touch, if I know you well enough that I can get in touch with you and I have something to say about you, I'm going to call you. I'm that guy. I'm not that guy that's on TV but never in line. When you don't see me in the locker room and stuff anymore, blame ESPN. You got me doing every damn show. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the air for hours, you know. I got to travel to this city, that city.
Yeah.
I can only do but so much. But everybody that knows me knows I've always had that reputation. I will show up to the games. I will show up to the locker rooms. There are times when people would see me lurking on a basketball court and they'd be like, who does he think he is? Like he's walking around the court before the games when guys on the layup line. They didn't realize the reason I did that is because I knew I had a national television platform. And I knew that I didn't have to be that beat writer with a bunch of reporters surrounding your locker after a game or something like that. But you might want to holler at me. So I wanted to be in their vicinity. So if they wanted to speak to me, they could either come over and speak to me or come over and say, look, call me later or plan on meeting me at this spot later or whatever so we can talk. It was my way of giving them that kind of access to me in case they wanted to reach me.
In those situations, like when you're close with guys, has there been a relationship of yours that has been burned because of
Well, Allen Iverson and I didn't talk for 8 months. And this is when I was the beat writer. Like, for those that don't understand, when you're the beat writer, wherever the team goes, you go. Every single day, every single practice, you got to cover the team. I was covering the Philadelphia 76ers, and Allen Iverson and I went 8 months without talking. And the only time we talked was a couple of times where he was like, fuck you, and I was like, fuck you too. Like, literally, it was like that.
You said it back to him?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right, I did. You know, because that's how I felt at the time, because I felt he was wrong. You know, but ultimately, a friend of his that ultimately was killed years later, believe it or not, literally got us together. And how did we get together? He had me meet him at the club at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I met him at the nightclub, and Allen Iverson was looking at me like I was crazy because I showed up by myself. I said, I'm here. I said, I'm here by myself. I said, because I can be, but more importantly, I'm right. I did not do anything wrong. You did. You know,
Yeah.
And we had a discussion, and we were fine.
What was he claiming that you did wrong?
Well, he was writing some article, some article that I had written. He felt that I should not have written it because I didn't have all the facts and I didn't get his side. And I was like, you mean after trying to reach you for 3 days? You mean after trying to talk to you? You mean coming to Fridays, coming to the club, you know, hollering at your friends and all of
Right.
that? I'm like, you knew I was looking for you. I said, your inaccessibility doesn't get to determine my productivity. I'm going to do my job. I reached out. I tried to find you. You weren't available. If you were available, I would have told you everything. You would have given me your perspective, and it might have altered my content. You weren't available, and you thought being inaccessible was going to prevent me from doing my job. Well, it didn't. Lesson learned. Make sure when I'm trying to reach you, I reach you, because I'm not, how can I put this? Fellas, I mean, I got a good life now, you make a little paper and, life is cool, It's all right, But I was never one of those nerdish dudes that needed my career to have a life. I always had a life. Excuse my language, I always have shit to do, okay? For my own individual pleasures, okay?
Yeah.
And I got better things to do with my time than chase your ass around for a story. So if I'm looking for you and I'm looking for you and I'm looking for you, at some point in time, you better hope I find you if you want to have some influence over the kind of things that I'm going to say. And if you avoid me for too long, that's at your own peril. Now, it's changed now because now I'm on national television. And we live in the age of streaming in the digital stratosphere. So, if you're in the morning and you're getting 250, 300,000 viewers, that's considered good. Well, I'm doubling up on that. We've been number one for 12 years. We're the flagship show for the network, the worldwide leader. We're number one every day. And so I don't have to worry about people watching us now. And then on top of it all, in the digital stratosphere, me, myself, and I, by myself, generate over 2 billion views annually. You're going to see me. You're going to hear me. Do you want to have some influence over what I say or not? If you talk to me, I have no problem. I have an obligation ethically to listen to what you have to say and to make sure, even if I disagree with you, that the context that you are providing is accurately displayed. If you don't talk to me, that's your damn problem. I owe you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I owe you absolutely, positively nothing. All I have to say is whatever I want to say. I tried to reach him for comment. He was unavailable. Simple.
We interrupt this episode to bring you ZipRecruiter. Our friends at ZipRecruiter conducted a recent survey that found that the top hiring challenge employers face for 2024 is a lack of qualified candidates. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/bussin. If you're an employer and need to hire, here's the good news. ZipRecruiter has smart tools and features that help you find more qualified candidates fast. You can use ZipRecruiter's invite to apply feature to send top candidates a personalized invite to encourage them to respond to your job post. Let ZipRecruiter help you conquer the biggest hiring challenge, which is finding qualified candidates. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/bussin. That's BUSSIN on ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Back to the episode.
When you're establishing yourself doing all this, how did you establish relationships with these athletes and also stay as unbiased as possible and become a straight shooter? When did you start to realize, okay, I'm finally getting the reputation of who I actually am, and I feel I can be more free to be myself?
Well, from day one, I always let them know, don't look for any pity from me when it comes to your game, because everyone's watching. Mm-hmm. If I'm sitting there and I'm talking to y'all right now and we're having a private conversation, that's between us. And I can interpret it, and we can discuss it, and I can shut up about it, go on my merry way, and it's between us. But with these cameras rolling and with the world watching, I can't help you. What you say is what you say. What you own is what you own. And it's the same principle when you're watching these guys perform. And so the first order of business is for me to let them know that I'm going to be incredibly objective in calling out what I see on the basketball court. But there are other things that I do, and this is where the relationship really elevated. I'm from the streets of New York City. No, I didn't smoke weed, but I know about getting high because I was surrounded by it all my life. I was surrounded by drugs all my life. I was surrounded by violence all my life. I was surrounded by folks partying all my life, all of this other stuff. So all of the things, the vices, the temptations, and everything like that, I'm a streetwise brother. I kind of know. So if you show up to a game, I don't need a test to know if you high. I'm looking right at you. I know if you high. I know if you drunk. And then when you dig the way that I dig, because remember, I'm a beat writer at the time. So you get to know everybody. And this is what people don't realize about people that are beat writers with a beat writer's nature. You don't only just know the athletes, the coaches, the player personnel directors, the scouts, the value. You know their families, you know their friends, you know their hanger-ons, you know their associates, you know all of that stuff. So just imagine that you're covering sports and you're dealing with 20-year-olds and late 20s and early 30s. And imagine the stuff that you're making all of this money and the stuff that you might find yourself getting into because you know you live in a life that most people don't get to live. Mm-hmm. Think about the trouble that brings. You think I didn't know? You think I didn't know that you got traded because you were fucking the same girl as the coach and the coach wanted you gone? You think I don't know that the coach couldn't stand you because you tried to come on to his wife and his wife was interested? Do you think that I don't know that you really, really can't stand this dude because guess what? You wouldn't trade with this team because that former executive used to screw around with your wife and you didn't want anybody to know. That's why when you remember, if you recall, when we were doing the whole Boston Celtics thing where Ime Udoka got pushed out because of a consensual relationship with somebody, you saw me going ballistic because I was like, oh, that's the first time that happened? I've been in this business for 30 years. There ain't a year that went by that I don't know about people screwing around in the office. It's always happening. Like, always. But this guy is the one y'all gonna bust. Now, that pissed me off. Because I'm like, there's a code. And what I didn't want to say, but I will say any damn way, because I'm still getting pissed off about it, just thinking about it. It was almost like, it's like, wait a minute here. You know, did I bring up the black element? Sure, because there's a whole bunch of white dudes, and last time I checked, y'all like sex too. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's telling y'all.
Love it.
Nobody was telling that. Damn right.
Fan.
We love
Big
it.
fan.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. So the point is, I mean, I get it. But what really ticked me off as well is that there's certain codes. Like, if you, without getting into details, because I don't want to get sued, you kind of know that the person that he was with had connections to somebody else within the organization. Can I say that?
You can say that.
So I'm going like this. Now, is that not the epitome of weakness as men? Your woman is messing around with somebody, allegedly, right? And you victimizing him. Well, he wasn't in a relationship with you. She was. But he victimized. But you still probably with that person. Really? Now, I'm saying that as men, we would call a dude out for that. We'd be like, yo, bro, that's pretty damn weak. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you couldn't handle your business, you couldn't handle your business. But as wrong as he might have been, unless he was your friend or brother or whatever, he ain't owe it to you. You understand what I'm saying? She did. Mm-hmm. But they called him out. And I didn't want to go nuclear at that moment and say that, but that's what I was thinking. Like, you know, you got to be pretty damn weak to be instigating this kind of shrapnel against that guy because you didn't handle your business. You know, I'm not saying she wasn't wrong and he wasn't wrong or whatever, but there was another element to it that came with it that you saw. There was a level of vindictiveness and hostility aimed solely at him, who was not married. And he wasn't involved with you. So why is he the one suffering more than anybody else? That's where I was coming from. And those kind of perspectives you get from seeing a lot and being around a lot and covering sports and seeing a whole bunch of things that go on. That was the stuff that gnaws away at me because I look for consistency. I want fairness. It doesn't matter whether it's right, wrong, or whatever. I understand we can debate it or whatever, but consistency needs to be the order of the day when we're doing this. And that's what I try to bring.
When you talk about, you brought up the code, and obviously it's easy sitting as Stephen A. Smith right now, the GOAT, but when you're a beat writer, just trying to scratch and claw for that interview, and you know things are going on, and it'd be very easy for you to get way more clicks or way more whatever by saying, hey, so-and-so was cheating with so-and-so or whatever, philandering is going on in this facility. How did you figure out the code? Like, how quickly do you learn that this code exists?
Well, for me, it's a personal decision. My personal morals and ethics are different than other people. Fellas, there's certain lines I'm just not crossing. I don't know y'all from a can of paint. I'm just meeting y'all, happy to get to know y'all. Here at the show all the time. I've watched it a couple of times. Y'all do a great job. Man, I could see you doing something that I might deem to be unethical as it pertains to your personal relationship with somebody. Man, that ain't none of my damn business. I might not like it. I might hold it in, but I'm not diming you out. I'm just not doing it. Mm-hmm. It's none of my business. Now, you on a football field, you play like garbage. That's different. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that.
Yeah,
you understand?
You've said that
now,
before.
And by the way, if you do that, because I've seen people show up to games and you look sluggish. The audience didn't know you were screwing somebody 2 hours ago, but I did. Because I knew her. See what I'm saying? So I'm not going to tell on you, but I'm going to go like this. I don't know what was wrong with him. He seemed a bit slow. You know, the legs didn't seem to be there. You know, my way of letting him know, man, I know what you did. What's the matter with you? You couldn't wait till after the game? You know, that's how I've done. Or a guy that, you know what? You're on the sauce a little bit. You're drinking a little bit too much alcohol. You know, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to do that the night before. Not the hour before the game, you know, and I'm like, I'm looking at you like, you didn't seem like yourself. You seemed a little bit off kilter. And, they raise the eyebrow because they know what I'm alluding to. But the audience doesn't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll do stuff just to let them know. Yeah, I could, but I'm not. But don't think I don't know. Come on, man, do your job. Do your job. And then afterward, live your life. And so, I've been doing stuff like that, throughout my career. The difference between me now and then, you got some of these athletes can't stand my ass, hate my ass, whatever the case may be, because they see me on TV. They don't have a relationship with me. But the reason why is because I'm stuck in studio and I can't get to the games the way that I used to as many gigs. I used to go to like 200, like 120, 125 games a year. Now I have to cut that in half because of my schedule. But the reason why they could feel that way now compared to where they were before is because before this was me. I'd roll right up into the locker room. You seem like you got a problem. What's up? You can't possibly have a problem. How could you possibly have a problem? You know what the hell you did. And I would roll up on them like that. I remember years ago, mad love and respect for John Wall. But John Wall, I was doing First Take. John Wall walked up and he was like, I just wish cats like, Stephen A, say something on TV, be man enough to, come to the locker room. Knowing good and damn well, I couldn't get to Washington that day. Man, brother said that stuff, man. I took off my microphone during a commercial break. I flew to D.C. I was in front of his locker that night. Like, what? Like I'm scared to do my job. I'm not talking about no fighting or anything. You're acting like I'm scared to do my job. This is my job. I am not scared to do my job, ever. Ever. This is my job. Personal stuff is beyond the scope of the job. That's off. That's wrong. Somebody disrespecting your family member, your girls. No, you want to bust their ass. Can't have that because you violating codes. But me just doing my job. If you can't play, you can't play. You play like garbage. You play like garbage. You messing up. You messing up. Me scared to do that. Anybody that implies that, they're gonna see me in front of that locker room. They're gonna see me in front of that. I'd walk in the middle of the Dallas Cowboy locker room after a game if they said something like that about me. You got to be crazy because that's the job. And I'm never going to be scared to do my job.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Good Chop. Everyone wants to start their year off on the right foot. And for me, that means making sure I'm eating well and have enough energy to do everything that I want to do. But I'm not going to run to the butcher every day to get a fresh cut of quality meat. That's just not going to happen this time of year. That's why Good Chop is such a lifesaver for the boys. Good Chop offers fully customizable boxes of high quality meat and seafood delivered to your door on schedule. The products are vacuum sealed and frozen at peak freshness so you can stock your freezer and cook when you want. They also offer sustainable and wild caught seafood, salmon, Pacific cod, scallops, shrimp, and more. Listen, we already talked about it on the episode. Summertime is coming. Springtime is coming. The nice sunlight on the weekend days are upon us in due time. And what a better time to start off right, barbecue and having the cookouts than doing it with Good Chop, especially Good Chop especially prides itself on sourcing meat that comes with no antibiotics or added hormones ever. No artificial ingredients, only the good stuff, boys. Go to goodchop.com/bussin120 and use code bussin120 to get $120 off your first 4 boxes. That's code bussin120 at goodchop.com/bussin120 for $120 off. Quality meat, quality seafood, all of it. Goodchop.com/bussin20. I apologize. /bussin120. Good Chop. It's the good stuff. Back to the episode. Your first big break getting into national television. Can you talk about that? And then also seeing it transcend into what it's become, and obviously the spotlight of Stephen A. Smith. But when was your first big break on when you do hit that national television scene?
I think when people would say when it was CNN SI, which was a big deal because I was on that NBA show on Sunday mornings. But I would say the real big break was when I went to Fox Sports Television because it was before the formation of the Best Damn Sports Show, period. And I was on their national sports, they had their national sports desk. Kevin Frazier, who's now at Entertainment Tonight, was one of the hosts along with various others. He's a dear friend of mine. And I went there. Jim Rome had Rome is the last word, I believe, was the name of the show. When he came to ESPN, it was Rome is Burning, which is always a great name. I always loved that name. But I was there, and Jim Rome would bring me into his office after shows and talk to me and give me guidance, about some of the minefields to maneuver through and what kind of things to watch out for, which I was always greatly appreciative for. And so I would call that my first big break, because being in television and making that kind of noise when ESPN was so prolific, that was one thing. But then the creation of the Best Damn Sports Show, period, they offered me the job full time. I turned it down, which is how John Sally got offered the job. The reason I turned it down is because I knew that my aspirations were to end up at ESPN one day. And I knew in order to achieve that, I had to be taken seriously. And I would never be able to be taken seriously if I was sitting next to a comedian that was Tom Arnold every day. I'm not talking about him specifically. I'm talking about any comedian. It was a comedic show, or at least they aspired for it to be that way. And for me to go there and sit next to him every day, I knew aesthetically, optics-wise, that would not be a good look if I wanted to be taken seriously. So I declined to play that role on that show, and instead elected simply to be an NBA insider for that network. And lo and behold, a year later, ESPN came calling. And in 2003, I landed at ESPN, and everything has taken off since then.
How do you get to that conclusion with Best Damn Sports Show, period, where they're offering you a job, they're offering you probably more money than you've been making before, and to have the wherewithal to sit there and be like, tactically, strategically, in this video game of life I'm playing, this is not the move to make, although it's better right now than it is.
Same thing you're doing now. You're playing a long game. Mm-hmm. Clicks would be nice. Views per episode would be nice. A subscriber base that builds is something that you want. We all know what the business entails. But if you want to do something and just be a one-off, that's entirely different than building a career that's sustainable. And for me, I always played the long game. I still do. I think ahead. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, yo, man, what did you do when you got your contract in 2018? I said, I went home. I was a little sad for a little while because I had lost my mom a year earlier, God rest her soul, after a long battle with cancer. And I said, so I licked my wounds there because I was sad, because I knew the kind of money that I was earning, what I was going to be able to do for her if she had been alive. And I had never had a chance to do that, for her, what I would have been able to do for her after I signed that contract. But then ultimately I spent some time with my sisters and my family, my daughters and everything like that for the weekend. That Monday morning I woke up and they said, what were you thinking about? I said, my next contract. And I wasn't playing. I knew that I had 5.5 years to go. And I was thinking about 5.5 years down the road. What am I going to do and where am I going to be in 5.5 years? And that is my mentality always, to try to maintain 3, 5, 10 steps ahead, to see the forest from the trees, to anticipate the kind of things that are going to happen. So I'm not lost in the shuffle, and we're not rewinding the clock back to 2009 where I'm asked out, unemployed, wondering what my prospects are, wondering whether or not I have any, living off my savings and knowing that I had about 6 to 8 months to survive on that. My goal is to never be in that position again, and so I think like that.
What is your vision? What do you envision for yourself down the road? Obviously you signed the massive deal with ESPN. You're Stephen A. Smith. You've come out with a podcast. Everybody knows this media landscape on the leveraging and building your own platform. Okay, I'm on this massive network. You might think you're building me up. Let me go show you how I can do it on my own as well. What does the North Star look like for you 5-10 years down the road?
Well, the North Star for me is to have that level of independence, to establish it in such a way where I'm there because I want to be there, not because I need to be there. I love working for Disney and ESPN. I love being associated with the world of sports. I think that's one of the 5 pillars in this nation that you want to attach yourself to if you can pull it off, and I'm certainly not interested in giving that up. But I'm neither going to lie nor be apologetic about what I want for myself. I've done a lot at ESPN. My contract's up in 17 months. I'm interested in staying if I have the opportunity to do an abundance of other things that I want to do. If that opportunity doesn't present itself, then I'll have decisions to make, and so will they. I own my own production company. I'm producing a docu-series. Actually, it comes out later this month. It's a 3-part series on the history of sports commentators. I've got another series that has been greenlit, a drama series that I've created that I'm not at liberty to talk about, but it has nothing to do with Disney or ESPN. I've created a drama series that's coming out. I've got my podcast, which is not really a podcast, it's a show. Why? Because I spent my own money in 7 figures to build my own television studio. I want people to look at it and think hybrid. It's not linear. It's not digital. It could be both. You want a linear sports show? Got you. You want a sports digital show? Got you. You want a podcast? Got you. You want a late night show? Done. You want an afternoon talk show? Fine. You want me to be another version of PTI or something like that? Good. You want another creation of First Take? Fine. You want me to create a weekly format show that would rival Real Time with Bill Maher or the John Oliver show or the Daily Show? Fine. Whatever it is, I can do it, because I've shown I can do it. And so that's where my mentality is, having the doors open, the opportunities available to me, and being in a position to explore things that I may have never imagined because I never knew it was available to me, because all anybody thought about when they saw me was sports. Now they don't think like that anymore. They see my range. So who's to say whether it's me or somebody else that wants to work with me comes forth with a level of creativity and ingenuity necessary to say, Stephen A., this is what we think we could do with you and for you. This is the kind of money that you can make. Because the one thing I will never apologize for, I am about my money. I want to get paid. I ain't apologizing for that shit to anybody. I'm not talking about Disney. I'm not talking about ESPN. I'm talking about colleagues, contemporaries, people who have been in this business, who knows what it takes to succeed. Look at my resume. Look at what I've accomplished. Oh, make no mistake, I intend to get paid. I can tell you that.
I'm telling you right now on this on YouTube when we post this, black and white, music behind it, subtitles, the whole thing. That thing is going to go. We're going to take a break from this episode to bring you Ashley, dude. Ashley has great quality stuff, on trend, comfortable, and affordable, perfect seating to watch the game or gaming with your friends. Our episode today is with Stephen A. Smith. You see those cushy seats, you see what we're sitting in. That is Ashley. We were spending, 15-hour days ripping around, pods after pods after pods after pods, trying to give you people what you love most, which is interviews with amazing guests. And Ashley Furniture made our tushes feel like it was in a safe hands, dude. Do us a favor, use code BARSTOOL to save online at ashley.com. The fun part about that call to action is that you don't know how much you're saving, but if you use the code BARSTOOL, you're going to find out. Ashley.com. Let's get back to this episode. Nuts. I know you.
Motiversity.
I know you got to leave, but obviously the competitive drive, the why, you have literally everything. And in sports, when you're on a team, your goal is to win the Super Bowl or the NBA championship, all these different things. So you're competing against other teams, but also internally in on the team you're at, you're competing with the guys around you. And so ESPN comes in, you talked about 2 billion views. You talked about being the man, number one for 12 years. And you see ESPN making a pivot to McAfee. Obviously great for the network. How do you, in your mindset, view a guy like McAfee, who is extremely good at his job, in a lot of ways is changing the course of mainstream media and all those things from a competitive standpoint and also as a partner?
I am an aberration in this regard. I love Pat McAfee.
He's a man.
Love him to death. Love him to death. I love his swag. I love the fact that he's an honest brother. He don't give a shit. He'll let you know exactly where he stands. That's my kind of dude. That works for me. Now, is he as polished politically as me? Nope. Because he has no desire to be, number one. And number two, if we're being honest, he's white and I'm black. He didn't have to be. I had to be. So I get all of that. And I'm not knocking him for it. I get it. Pat McAfee is a sensational talent. And it would be stupid for me not to root for him, because he's one of the pioneers in this business, just like Bill Simmons is, just like Joe Rogan is, and others. What they have done for themselves in the digital stratosphere speaks for itself. I'm new to this. I'm a baby. I'm approaching 550,000 subscribers in 10 and a half months. People see me, oh my God, you're averaging over 2,000 subscribers a day. And look at the views per episode. It's just climbing and climbing. And look at the consistency, the growth, especially my guy Bailey, the social media guru. I mean, he's painting this beautiful picture every day. I'm looking at the fact that my numbers pale in comparison to those folks who have been there and have like a 4, 5, 7, 8 year head start on me. Why? Because I'm looking at who's number one and why. Okay? But in the same breath, don't get it twisted. I love Pat. Pat knows that. I'm rooting for him. I help him any way I can help him. But we know who number one in linear television is. You know, no backseat. We've been number one for 12 years. People come, people go. People come, people stay. But there's a top perch. Now, you could take it away, knock on wood. It could be next year. It could be next week. It could be 2 years, 5 years from now, whatever. But since 2012, it's been me. With Skip Bayless, without him. With Max Kellerman, without him. With a potpourri of contributors. It don't matter. I come to win. And when it comes to linear television, that's exactly what the fuck I have done. And so my attitude is, as long as I'm doing it, I'm going to continue to win. McAfee or no McAfee, get up or no get up. It don't matter who it is, FS1, Comcast, whatever. You come for me, I'm coming for you. I'm here to win. Digital is different because I'm a baby. I'm crawling. I'm an infant. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't even learned how to walk yet. You understand what I'm saying? Let alone run and sprint. But once I get to that point, I'm going to come for folks then too. But in the process of doing so, it will never be to root for them to fail. And that's why I'm very guarded when people sit up there and they try to, I remember Dan Levitar said one time, you know, he wants to ruin Skip's career and he had to retract that statement because that's totally false. I never want Skip to fail. I just don't want him to be number one over me. Same thing with Keyshawn, Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman. These are my boys. I don't want them to fail. But they know who's trying to be number one. And look, these are Hall of Famers. These are Super Bowl champions. All this stuff. When they roll up over there, yeah, man, we know you. I said, you know I'm coming for you, right? You know you don't expect to beat me. You understand? Now, of course, one day somebody can. Hell, it could be them or somebody else. But all in fun, I'm letting them know I don't ever root against you. I don't ever want you to fail. But in the same breath, it is perfectly within my right to want to be number one. And I want to be that guy that's at the top of the perch that reaches back, white and black, finding young talent, folks on the come up, inspiring and motivating and assisting others in being their best selves. But do I want you to be better than me? No. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure you're not better than me. I've done it in linear television. I'm going to continue to do it in linear television, at least as long as I have a contract to do so. And hopefully I'll be able to do it in the digital stratosphere as well. And then after that,
It's kind of production we're doing around here. You
It's
see
okay.
that? We're trying to throw you
Not
off.
7 figures in this
Talking
one.
about being the one.
Steve A, this has been an honor, man. Thank you so much.
I
This has
wish
been
we
all
had a
time.
longer time. I don't know if you saw on the internet, all black versus all white team.
okay. I did not see that.
You didn't see that?
I did not see
Should
that.
have been something you'd be covering.
Yeah,
That
it's
seemed
a
like you
big
not to
deal.
know that
Tell me
one.
about that.
And if you look at the all white team, except for that back end on defense,
Okay.
not a bad squad.
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
I think
I'll check it out.
the black
Nice,
squad's minus 24.5. When we're over it, but it'll be all right.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll get you on
man,
again, man.
thank you.
Appreciate
that was
you.
all time.
Appreciate y'all, man. All the best to both of y'all, man. Keep doing the great
Yep.
work y'all been doing,
We'll
man.
be seeing you soon.
All right,
Yes,
fellas.
sir.
Take care.